My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. It is Monday, July 25th, 2022. It's currently 12:44 a.m. At 12:39 a.m., the Ontario Police Department is, again, they were following the entire time. What was I documenting en route from Tracy Banks' vehicle on G Street where the Ontario Police were stalking by helicopter? I was documenting the Ontario Police Department group stalking via the people of the state. Every third party is stalking with that Ontario Police Department, which is grounds of federal prison. That's what I documented en route to the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. All of those third parties, including the venue of El Pescador, while I'm reading those license plates, these are venues, group stalkers. These are third-party license plates, group stalkers who are group stalking with the Ontario Police Department as I go from place to place. And that's exactly what I documented last night, July 23rd, 2022, en route to the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where the Ontario Police Department, on video as I capture it, are crossing path, stalking in a vehicle, pacing, driving down Transit, then driving up Euclid Avenue on traffic cameras, and then making a U-turn. This is demonic pacing, and doing so in a police vehicle. The entity, I captured this on video, the entity is flying over the Ontario Museum as I remain here at 12:39 a.m. and does so very rapidly, super amplified audible activity while they do so, and trying rapidly to avoid being captured on video. This is what they were doing at the Ovid Family Community Library, where the entity was stalking by planes all day long. They're already heavily documented as a stalker. I'm documenting their stalking conduct while I'm in the vehicle belonging to Tracy Banks, who's group stalking with the police. As I walk to the museum, the entity is following the entire time, including by commercial airline planes. And the Ontario Police Department, this is what I want to document on. Again, it's July 25th now, 2022, at 12:39 a.m., flying from the direction over the side of the museum where I'm at. So I am on what is the south side of the museum under the covered structure, under the covered walkway. The Ontario Police Department they're engaging in ongoing flying around. So they're sounding helicopter activity flying around out of sight, but amplified audible activity of this demon in a helicopter that's pacing around the museum. And then at 12:39 a.m., the volume of this helicopter gets extraordinarily loud. It gets thunderous. This is demonic activity, understand? This is Satan that's surrounding with noise. The sound of the helicopter activity is at a supernatural level. In other words, this is demonic activity, understand? You have what is a demon that is coming from what is the direction south, flying north over my head while I'm at the museum, and doing so very rapidly, and then flies over the north side of the museum, which would be flying toward Transit. And they flying near the county building at 150 East Hope Boulevard, and then dipping down below, trying to avoid being captured on video. All right, this is occurring at what is 12:39 a.m. So I want to document the Ontario Police Department that is indeed stalking. They are a stalker. They're obsessed because of what they are succumbed to. These are demons that are a part of a police department, and I'm exposing their criminal conduct, the public corruption that they are facilitating with the people of the state, which is the state of California engaging in state surveillance. And at 12:39 a.m., flying over by helicopter, which I already stated was going to be the case, which I have already fully documented has been the case, stalking on an ongoing basis day and night at this same exact venue, and that's exactly what they did at 12:39 a.m., seeking to avoid being captured on video and doing so. They're doing so in directed light. the wealth of documentation shows what's the directed light on the wall of the museum, where the people of the state are stalking in traffic. They're engaged in surveillance, pacing around me on a ceaseless basis with that police department, many of whom I documented by license plate. They're already published on my podcast, July 24, 2022, as I'm coming from Tracy Banks's vehicle to the museum. All of those third parties are group stalking with the police. Those are third parties that will go to federal prison for that. Understand, stalking with the police is prosecuted. It's punished with what is time in federal prison. All right, and the entity flies over at 12:39 a.m. Again, it is July 25th, 2022. I do remain at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, a facilitating venue where state surveillance and terrorism is underway, and the obsessed stalker, these violent sex offenders, these criminals exercising fictitious authority under the law, stalking an American citizen, and doing so under the guise of being a police department. All right, this is criminal activity, and they are flying over at 12:39 a.m. So I want to include this on my podcast. This is P.O.C. And there's the Ontario police that I spoke to at 12:39 a.m. They are flying again. Before they were flying in this direction, right over that direction, dipping below. Now they're flying directly over the center. That's amplified audible activity. This is the Ontario Police Department that was stalking while Tracy Banks was walking on the sidewalk in directed light, walking toward her vehicle, whom she has no legal right whatsoever to engage in what is group stalking with the police. That's a federal crime that she's engaging in on video. She does so with impunity. She then engages in what is harassment while she is engaging in ongoing demonic pacing. That's an act of terrorism by a demon-possessed third-party group stalker who is doing so on behalf of the Ontario Police, who I captured on video flying over me while I'm inside of her vehicle. All right, the entity is following me from her vehicle parked on G Street in front of the Tapor Professional Building to this location where I'm at, the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. This is impossible light activity on the face of this building, and this is the heavily documented stalking conduct by that demon-possessed police department, the Ontario Police Department, who also are posing an impermissible threat because they're monitoring documentation. Those demons know that they're being documented, showing what is the impunity with which they engage in criminal activity with the people of the state. That's why that Ontario Police Department shall be disbanded. You're witnessing what is the evidence that has already established it, because they're not just going to be disbanded, they're going to federal prison. Many of them belong in mental institutions as well. This is unstable. This is demonstrating what is a mental instability while you are obsessively stalking. You're using helicopters to target an American citizen, and you're not doing it in secret. You're doing it before the world. You also know that. That is speaking to what is a mind state that's a threat to the public. All right, those are ticking time bombs, and the Ontario Police Department is not a legitimate police department. They're engaging in criminal conduct, and they're calling themselves the Ontario Police Department. This is public corruption exposed. This is moments after 12:39. Again, as I pointed out, the entity flew right over here, flew over in that direction, trying to avoid being captured on video. Satan not proving a point by providing more ongoing evidence of the fact that they're obsessed demons that are stalking with helicopters, abusing what are positions of a law enforcement agency, showing what they no longer need to exist, while they again fly over, stalking and monitoring, which is captured on video. This is P.O.C. And again, it is now currently 12:58 a.m. at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. They're not going anywhere. They're engaging in demonic pacing. And they are, again, engaging in what is terrorism of one who's going to prosecute them. I'm advocating on behalf of the ordinary target individual, showing you what is necessary with regard to justice, how you're going to prosecute demons that are a part of law enforcement agencies, placing American citizens under surveillance. And what you do with those agencies, they're corrupt. They need to cease from existence. You're going to disband. You're going to place in federal prison. They will never have anything to do with anything remotely related to law enforcement. This is P.O.C. And there's the Ontario Police Department stalking by helicopter, which is exactly what they were doing while Tracy Banks' group stalking. All right, on G Street, then again at the museum, and again at the Ovid Family Community Library under the fake sun. The only sun, right? This is where the entity's keeping the fake sun. Everybody inside of the Ovid Family Community Library is going to federal prison. Everybody. The entity's keeping the fake sun while I'm at 636 North Vine Avenue, where which is a third-party facilitating venue, where again that corrupt police department is claiming that they responded to a robbery. The fake sun is over that 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine, where a third party is participating with those demons, that corrupt agency, the Ontario Police Department, which is exactly what I'm speaking about on my podcast. And not coincidentally, then does this corrupt agency a bunch of demons under the fake sun. All right, that's on the side of the Ovid Family
Family Community Library, nowhere near the 7-Eleven where I'm capturing it yesterday in still images on Vine Avenue, which is not over anywhere near that venue. It's right here over me where it remains. I captured video of the same exact conduct while I stand here at the same exact place. The Ontario Police Department, demons flying over by helicopter. Those demons are going to go to Patton Mental Institution, Patton, which is a state mental ward. That's where they belong, as they are following me day and night by helicopters, and they're doing so in the specific environment. The fake sun is here, video captured at 5:45 p.m. And where's the fake sun? It remains on this same side of this venue. These are demons that are stalking in plain sight. This is called impunity. This is demonic activity underway as well. And this is supposedly the one sun, but while you are 3 hours ahead on the East Coast, understand we are not under the same light source. It's impossible. And not only that, are we not under the same light source, which is supposedly the sun per NASA. You talking about what is remaining for the duration of the day. That's why it's over here in front of the same building after 6 p.m. That's a demon that's stalking in the path. That's a psychopath that's keeping their face in the opposite direction while they're stalking you. Clearly, while the demon-possessed agency, the Ontario Police Department, are stalking me. Remember, this is following while I'm inside of Tracy Banks' car, license 4WON432, following to the Museum of History and Arts, flying directly over, as I document on my podcast and on video, and flying over me right here at the museum, at the Ovid Family Community Library, where documentation is showing that which is not possibly the sun remains for the duration of the day. This is the P.O.C, and it is currently 10:08 a.m. where there will be no sun over 612 North Vine Avenue. There will be no sun over the 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine Avenue. There will be no sun at the intersection of what is D Street and Vine, as I captured in still images yesterday, which is where these demons, the entirely corrupt and demon-infected agency, the Ontario Police Department, are group stalking with Ovid Family Community Library. All those demons in there are engaged in surveillance right now, and they're obsessively pacing around with multiple shadows. Those are psychopaths. They belong in Patton. Which is, again, right now it's a facilitating venue. It's corrupt, exercising fictitious authority, but you're addressing this when you're prosecuting it, and they belong in those mental institutions. This is a demon-possessed population group stalking together. And that which is supposedly the one sun, all right, that is which has supposedly one sun per NASA, all right, it remains here at this address all day long. That's impossible. All right. And we've been lied to about the environment and what's occurring in that environment. Demonic activity, criminal conduct, which is achieving what is demonic activity. This is going to be prosecuted as terrorism. All right. This is P.O.C. Pay attention. Ontario Police group stalking again. Tracy Banks inside of her vehicle. In front of 325 West G Street, in other words, she's going to federal prison. And you're also talking about what is in at the museum, and then today, this morning, at the Ovid Family Community Library. This is the same side I'm on. Again, I want to reiterate my video, the Ontario Police Department, demons that are obsessively stalking me in helicopters, and the fake sun is right here at the front of this venue at 5:45. It is 10 o'clock. You're talking about what's supposed to be the sun that's right here at 5:45 p.m. No, that's not the sun. This is P.O.C. Ontario International Airport, flying directly over me while I'm at the museum, walking past the museum where the fake sun is present over that museum and moving as I walk north. The fake sun is moving north. 09763T2 7RKS483 8SMU263 4WDH556. These are group stalkers that are crossing path on the ground while the Ontario International Airport is crossing path again on the south side of my person under what is the fake sun that's directly over me. And the fake sun is moving as I am walking from the museum. The fake sun is in motion. Nowhere near, by the way, what would be any windshield or window of the vehicle that I'm inside of at 325 West G Street. These are a bunch of demons in position, group stalking, and maintaining presence all around me while an entire environment is moving around me, which is demonic activity. All right, these demons are currently at the intersection of Euclid and Holt Boulevard on traffic cameras at 7:15 in the morning. This is P.O.C. License plate ROB3KKD, captured on images at Euclid and Holt. R94OSO, captured on images at Euclid and Holt. License 7XQT239. They're crossing path into the fake sun. This is group stalking. State surveillance in action. Fake sun having nothing to do with what is being rising over 325 West G Street or the Tabor Professional Building through the back windshield while I remain in that vehicle. License 5SJV889. That's why it's over the building of the museum. That's what I took a picture of. And that's nowhere near anywhere, no G Street or anything like that. This is the P.O.C. I've already captured before. 70665U2, 8VPU609, and that's also why the Ontario Police Department is stalking by helicopter over the museum. Okay? 8LJZ, 8LZJ903, 5EM
6Z427, 7UTZ910, 6FHW468, 5T17257, 6FRD837, 4MPL865. Yeah, those are the third parties crossing path on Euclid and Holt. And that is, again, 8LJZ903 is correct, yeah. 6J71551, 8CGA100, 6ZNN590, 6BFL653, 97781U1, 8988783, 8F05292, 25477F3, 9AJY150. And again, the Ontario International Airport is group stalking, flying over, again, not over Fern Avenue, flying directly over the museum, flying over the street where I'm located on the south side of my person, where the fake sun is in perfect alignment with me at that museum, while I'm crossing the streets in alignment with what is 150 East Hope Boulevard. This is group stalking by that airport, and the people of the state are group stalking in their vehicles with license plates I'm reading, 6A48117. That's amplified audible activity. There are no planes taking off over here. They're stalking with airplanes. License 6U31775, 7KLD045. WUZ493. Four LLV355, 8CNK080, 7GXY511, 8SYG883, 73220D2. Bitco Foods crossing path, 8ZTR632. And the fake sun is moving in the direction that I'm walking. So I'm walking west on Holt Boulevard. The fake sun is advancing west to remain over me in that direction. Omnitrans crossing path, bus 2355. Excuse me, 55. And this is at 7:19 a.m. Remember, the entity's keeping the fake sun through the window of the vehicle yesterday. 38957M3 and every day. But yesterday, as I remain at outside in the vehicle outside of 325 West G Street, I'm capturing the fake sun visible through that window, aiming directed light onto my person, which I've captured for a prolonged period, 45244E2. This is what the entity was doing every single day, but it is on Holt Boulevard, advancing west as I'm walking west on Holt Boulevard. By the way, Holt Boulevard intersects with Fern Avenue. I'm walking toward Fern Avenue. Fern Avenue and G Street is north of Holt Boulevard and Fern Avenue. The entity, in other words, the fake sun, is nowhere near being over anybody, 630 North Fern Avenue or 325 West G Street. There is no vantage point where the sun would be seen or aiming any sort of light through the windows or the windshields anywhere near. But I'm showing you, as I documented day in and day out, being molested with what is light inside of that car. The shadow of my person arriving in the back of the car while the fake sun was behind the back of the car. I captured video of that. 91689L2. The fake sun is right now 7 in the morning, where it's remaining stationary, as I capture on images outside of 325 West G Street yesterday at approximately 9:52 a.m. All right, and then I walk around as I'm going to 612 Fern Avenue, where FedEx is molesting under the fake sun, HAYAHH, at 9:59 a.m. Where I'm in front of the 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine Avenue. The fake sun is over that 7-Eleven as I'm walking around that neighborhood where the entity kept that fake sun. All right, so this is what the entity is doing based on where I'm located, having nothing to do with the natural environment, and this is in conformity to that documented pattern of conduct. Alrighty, it's currently 7:21 a.m. and I'm approaching what is Fern Avenue and Holt Boulevard. And yesterday, this is the street that I took a picture of while Tracy Banks is I'm in the vehicle with Tracy Banks, and she's driving toward this street. She's coming from 325 West G Street. and the fake sun is over me coming from that direction. And this is after 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. I am at 7:21, like I just stated, hold on, 7:21 a.m. and the fake sun is over me as I'm walking in a different direction, advancing toward Fern Avenue. So again, I'll go ahead. Excuse me. So this is capturing still images of that right now. Alrighty, I am at Fern Avenue and Holt Boulevard. That's audible activity. I'll read these demons' license plates. Fake sun is right over me at Fern Avenue and Holt Boulevard. SJA7YG, I believe that's Arizona. 7BWH712. License plate 71041B3 62701D2. 8KZE551. This is again Fern Avenue, Holt Boulevard, where the 06037B2, where the fake sun's over me while I'm in Tracy Banks' vehicle through the windshield. At Lupe's Auto Repair and at Emporia Place. This is exactly where the fake sun is at 10 o'clock in the morning. 8LDF347 coming from another direction. That is coming from 325 West G Street. I'm coming from Holt Boulevard. This is where the fake sun is over me right now. 57164L3, 7NWE693. 8PLK167. I.I.S 368. 6G89445. And you'll see where I'm at on Holt Boulevard in Fern, you'll see the fake sun is necessarily advancing west over Holt Boulevard, and it's not remaining over the museum. I've remained later at the museum. I've remained later in the vehicle. 5KPY383. But like I said, this is the pattern of conduct that I've thoroughly documented. 8WEA001. Because again, when I'm remaining at Motel 6, the entity's fake sun is nowhere near the museum or the vehicle. It's remaining directly over the room. It's remaining directly over that room setting. It's in whatever room that is. This is documented at Economy Inn. It's documented at Days Inn. It's documented at Motel 6. Both Motel 6 is the one on Vineyard Avenue, the one on 4th Street as well. I just documented that last Sunday, by the way. And the entity was keeping a fake sun. This is indeed the pattern of conduct. This is nothing new. I'm just showing what is a clear abrupt about face, all right, where I'm sleeping in the car one day and the next day the entire environment has changed. It has nothing to do with the natural environment. These are demons who are stalking and stalking in helicopters, as the Ontario Police Department demonstrates. Where the entity is stalking by helicopter, what you see the next morning is that's where the fake sun is. That's what's going on at 325 West G Street, 630 North Fern Avenue, 7WRM151. License plate on the front of this truck is A4903B2. That's Terrell Transport or something like that. That's a license plate on the front of that truck. But where, again, like I stated, where the entity is stalking, group stalking by the police, that's where the fake sun is present over me in the morning. That's exactly what you see outside of 630 North Fern and 325 West G Street. BRAAMAA. That's exactly what you saw at Economy Inn. License 7BIR135. The entity stalking by helicopter, fake sun rising over that Economy Inn, as I documented that in 2020 and 2021. And not just rising, it remained there all day long as I remained in that hotel room for the duration of my stays. It's currently 7:27 a.m. The entity did the same thing at Mayfair Inn. The entity is stalking by helicopter. That's where the entity's fake sun was rising and setting in alignment with my hotel room. This is the pattern. All right, the entity is stalking in that specific environment. They're a demon-possessed population targeting 8VIU391, 8MHP352, 8RNB588. Ontario municipalities, they're group stalking, crossing path in a vehicle. They're also on the streets walking around with their little yellow jackets on. They're group stalking while they're carrying their little brooms and their buckets. They're group stalking. They're crossing path in the same environment. They have their cell phones in their pockets. They're monitoring under the same fake sun with the same amplified audible activity while planes are flying over. It is P.O.C. Just want to point that out. Omnitrans crossing path Route 61. They're at Emporia Place. I'm coming now. What is eastbound? License 6SEP021 7VWB 741 8286 OD3 03594H3. And Omnitrans is bus number 2359, license 1545838. EVD 120. NXA TIF, that's Arizona, 7865 2L2. Seven CLA 177 7 HMT 916 R835EO 8J55404, and it's 7:30 a.m. That's audible activity coming from the Holt Boulevard car wash. Five 9816M2 8 MHN 149 9BKR 368 7XPK 704 8RAE 226 9AEL 384 8XFR 579 80747J1 8BUK 913 7XPJ 373 60543JT, I believe. 8ZNB 942 06957M2 8LVA 451 9BVX 300 9BSU 730 99636M1 All right, and it is, again, last night I documented the pattern of conduct at McDonald's on Mountain Avenue at 7:33 p.m., where the Ontario International Airport is flying over their parking lot, their relevant positioning, their group stalking with the state as facilitating venue. I've also documented before directed light, monitoring in the bathroom, directed light inside of McDonald's, on the floors, and the entities flashing a directed light while you open and close the door, documenting the entity, monitoring with the people of the state. 5BWX095, 7RQM024, 8UPD172, 4NHV169, 4EYN151, 83643K1. And this demon's license plate, these are demons, or understand that. This is demonic pacing. License 6MHA693. This is no ordinary traffic where the entity's following with the fake sun and in directed light, where demons are molesting with directed light. These are demons that are pacing around me, okay? A license plate, 8KZE334. So, 58005X1. So I want to be clear that McDonald's, as I documented last night, the flashing directed light on that property, those are demons in the drive-thru, monitoring with Tracy Banks, and this McDonald's on Mountain Avenue tampered with my food that I ordered there, okay? They put something in my, I ordered a mango pineapple. I believe I ordered it on my podcast. You can hear it. They tampered with it. They put something in it, giving you the urge to go to the bathroom. 6WYT084. And this is not the first time that the people of the state that are preparing your food and drinks have engaged in that. Also, I've documented the entity tampering with food that I've even routinely purchased from grocery stores. I documented this before. This is a threat to your life. This is beyond what is harassment by an entity. But this McDonald's on Mountain Avenue tampering with the food and what was purchased, again, Tracy Banks, who was monitoring as well, the entity engaging in placing it inside of this, it was a smoothie that I ordered, 8YUG521. An unnatural urge to use the restroom follows after drinking that, all right? I don't have that normal urge to use the restroom. I'm publishing this because I'm going to sue them, and that's an unlawful threat as well, while they are monitoring. 8ZDZ160, 8WVC951, 6W73628, XONEN77, and that is poisoning. All right, the people of the state have engaged in poisoning on more than one occasion, and they did do so, and putting it in the shake that I ordered on my podcast. I believe I had my podcast recording while you hear me ordering that. They poisoned that. 9G45759. That's Coca-Cola. 9923583. License 8XRZ158. Where an entity is placing you under surveillance, everybody knows where you're going, what you're doing. 039963, even what you want to get before you go to that venue. You have a buildup of demons that are in this drive-through line. I took a picture of that. They're all monitoring the entire time. You're talking about what is not far-fetched whatsoever, and that is, and also, again, the functioning of my body, period, after digesting that, having an abnormal urge to use the restroom. McDonald's is the venue that is engaged in criminal monitoring. These are demons also. You're dealing with what is evil, understand that. And it is the P.O.C, and they are engaged in tampering with the mango. That's the last thing that I consumed. 5LFH253. That's the last thing that I consumed, creating an abnormal urge, like a serious urge to use the restroom. That's a direct product of what is a third party tampering with my food that is poisoning my food. Okay. Starbucks used to engage in the same thing. Starbucks located at 706 West Holt Boulevard. It is currently 7:37 a.m. Just want to document that. The fake sun is going west as I'm walking west. And I also want to include the fact that walking toward Ontario Village, this is where the entity's fake sun is doing the exact same thing as I came from Victoria Gardens. DE582 handicap, and the fake sun is advancing west while I'm in the vehicle. How is the entity doing it in the evening? Doing it in the same way it is in the morning. The entity's fake sun is remaining behind me. So when, for example, I'm in Tracy Banks' vehicle, the fake sun remains through the back windshield. I'm capturing this. While she is driving after coming from Victoria Gardens, driving on Hope Boulevard, the fake sun is through the front windshield as though the sun is in the west, but it's remaining visible and perfect alignment with me on the same street at the same property, 8LKL069. And that's how I captured the fake sun over Ontario Village, over Hope Boulevard, over the Stater Brothers. And this was around 6:56 p.m. This is right around 7 o'clock because she was trying to make it to one of these little stores inside of the village before 7 p.m. And that was after the entity kept the fake sun over the Paul Bryan Library, over Victoria Gardens, and then on the freeway, as we get on the freeway, coming back to this very street. And at 7 in the morning, the fake sun is over me on this same exact street. 20160W2. 9BLU007. So I do want to document what is poisoning by third-party group stalker McDonald's. And that is, again, speaking to the inherent threat that the people of the state pose. The entity is going to be prosecuted for that. The entity, but McDonald's itself, you're talking about what is civil and criminal prosecution, and it's not going to remain a mystery who works there, who's in control of food at that time while I'm there. 7YGA162, 4GALMP. And that is, again, worthy of what is federal prison. You're talking about 42232D3. Putting anything in your food with regard to creating merely an urgency to use the restroom, or let alone ending your life altogether, and you're wondering, and again, this is where you don't even know about the pattern of conduct, and people come up dead or come up poisoned mysteriously, and you're looking at people, oh my gosh, in the news, I can't believe this happened, and they're all monitoring them. BW30J19, you're dealing with a bunch of demons who are liars, who sacrifice people. All right, and they're doing it unbeknownst to what the public is aware that they're engaging in. Excuse me, what's the name of this business right here? Fantastic Wood Coatings? Okay, he's monitoring. Fantastic Wood Coatings is monitoring. He opens the door of his business. Directed light is sprawling across the sidewalk, and he's in operation of his communication device while the fake sun's moving west over me. License 02870G3, 88GK578, 98EL384, 98KP405. Fantastic Wood Coatings Industrial Finishes on Hope Boulevard. Let me show you the fake sun. Because you're monitoring, you're going to have your picture taken. You're monitoring me, so I'm going to take your picture. That's why. License plate. Third party. Go ahead. Keep talking. What?
You took a picture of me?
Yes, I did.
I didn't take a picture of you.
I don't care. You don't have to take a picture of me. Go ahead and stand in this directed light. I'll take another picture of you there, too. Go ahead and stand in it. Go ahead and stand in it. You're monitoring. You're going to have your picture taken, Satan. Farewell. This is P.O.C. That's a psychopath. That is group stalking. That's a demon. All right. And it's engaging in, you took your picture of me. Yes, I did. The fake sun is over Fantastic Industrial, nowhere near, by the way, 325 West G Street or the museum. While it's over the museum, it's not going to be hovering over Fantastic, whatever that business name, which he is using as a means to engage in P.O.C. He walks out and directed light is moving across the sidewalk. He's got his cell phone in his hand. He walks to his vehicle, which is a demon that is pacing, 8URX 383, while he's in operation of his communication device, and stating anything to you is harassment. That's the state that's stalking you. 8WXC581, that's poisoning your food, following you around with planes and helicopters. 7UFF299, 4WEK002, who are molesting you with directed light while they know exactly where you are. And this is why you're documenting this phenomenon with directed light. And then you have those are the same minions who know when you're sleeping in a car and directed light is moving inside of the car, and then you take their picture, and that's how psychopaths conduct themselves. And this is what I mean. That's why you capture the environment. You're not going to debate with Satan. You're dealing with what is an entirely malicious, highly demented, and unstable population. The Ontario Police Department are not flying over the museum where I'm sleeping in directed light because they don't know that I'm there. They are group stalking, following me from place to place, and the people of the state are of that same exact condition, acting cooperatively with that entirely corrupt and demon-possessed agency. That is a third party in the specific environment. The fake sun is over that business. Directed light you can see on the sidewalk while he's standing there with his phone in his hand, and this demon is engaging in what is conduct as though he is shocked while I'm documenting and capturing his face. Those are the psychopaths that are the demon possessed, molesting you with directed light and then act stupid while you document them. All right, other demons show rage. Other demons like to engage in assault and battery. Those are ones who are also subject to federal prison. License plate 7L69487, 92597J3, 7VST502, 7XOX472. Remember, you're dealing with a bunch of passive-aggressive demonic spirits. All right, and that's psychopath at Ovid Family Community Library, where the entity kept that fake sun, as I documented, at 8:46 in the morning, at 10 o'clock in the morning, at 1:33 in the morning, and then at 6 after I exited. The entity's fake sun remains at that venue, and while he is literally sitting in the shade with literally light that's just appearing out of nowhere underneath his car, all around his car, and his image is captured while he's monitoring me while my panties are down inside of the library, and then he's smiling on us, just like this psychopath over here. They don't find anything funny. They're not actually being nice. They're harassing you, and they're still monitoring while they're inquiring as to what they already know. This is a demon that's caught. You're monitoring, and I'm documenting you. You already know this. So what is your point in asking me, did you just take a picture? Because you're monitoring, and it's harassment. And why the one at the library, he engaged in the same thing, smiling. Oh, I just, as though he's confused. Well, I just want to know, why were you taking a picture? He goes from that to what is physically attacking. All right, 7SBZ 755, criminal defamation and threatening to call the police while I'm standing on the parking lot. 8PTW 466, 5UJA 592. And that same third party that engaged in assault and battery is captured in images following all the way to Ontario Mills. Pay attention to those images. 8WBX 618, Shamrock Foods, using their trucks, using their two vehicles they got over here. CK 11458 is Arizona, African American male accessing this one. And then you've got a larger truck over here, 5A9BBA is Arizona of Shamrock Foods. Under the fake sun at Ontario Village Shopping Center, that's not the sun that would be present at anywhere near State Brothers, and somehow it's remaining present. I'm capturing it at 7 p.m. as I did the days ago after coming from Victoria Gardens in Tracy Banks's vehicle, of course. All right, Tracy Banks is the same demon that I captured last night, crossing path while the Ontario Police Department are flying over by helicopter, and I have multiple shadows on the ground speaking to directed light and group stalking that she's engaging in. And I guess that this demon thinks because it's her car, you can engage in group stalking. I don't think she actually thinks that. I think she is entirely unprepared for what's going to be a prosecution of a satanic system. And this is a psychopath that doesn't show fear, so they laugh or they're sarcastic when they know that they're surrounded with evidence that they can in no way reconcile. You can't even address this in federal court. And that's just a product of the being a psychopath, all right, being a narcissist, being someone that is highly unstable. 7LCK299, AMB2307, 8EEY240, 7CKS778. Alrighty, but I do want to be clear. McDonald's engaging in what is poisoning my food. McDonald's on Mountain Avenue. I will be publishing them on my website. 4VZH 802. They are maintaining presence at the venue where they're stalking in the bathroom at Stater Brothers, where the fake son is present at upon my arrival before 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock in the morning right now, and the fake son is captured at the same venue over the Stater Brothers at 7 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and capture images of this, and I'll remind you about what I captured about that entirely demonic environment where these sex offenders are stalking in the bathroom. You can see the demon's feet while they are crossing path in the bathroom, doing so on behalf of the airport that's stalking, flying over by plane right now, and the police doing vicariously. That's what the Ontario International Airport is. Stalking with the police. 23103U1. The Ontario International Airport is engaging in this while demons are stalking me in the bathroom. The Ontario International Airport can be prosecuted as a sex offender. They're also engaged in demonic terrorism. That is United Airlines. It's a white plane with a blue and red tail. It is current, and they're hovering over the Stater Brothers parking lot, which is where the fake son is present. That's what they're doing at the museum. That's what they're doing on Fern Avenue while I'm at 325 West G Street. That's what they're doing over the B&G Plaza. And you are not perpetually taking off. They're rising in elevation over all of those venues as though they're rising in elevation as though they're taking off. You are more west of those locations, for example, the B&G Plaza, and you are still engaging in this conduct as though you're taking off over the Stater Brothers. That's stalking. That they're not taking off anywhere. They're not taking off, period, over these venues, but you're paying attention to what is that pattern of stalking, and it's very asinine. All right, they're doing it under the fake sun and in directed light. Safety Guard, is that the name of that venue? Safeguard. Those minions are engaged in monitoring while my panties are down as well. It is currently 8:01 a.m. All right, Union Pacific is audible activity. Union Pacific is a sex offender creating audible activity while demons are stalking in the bathroom, crossing path in that private space. License 8PLR057, 7LCK299. And I think I read this one already. Washington plate AMB2307, 7CKS778, 85457S2, I believe. That's SoCal Edison, a sex offender. 7TLX744. They like to monitor American citizens, and it's not enough. They are that obsessed that they also are stalking in restrooms. 8WCA012, which is also showing what is the condition of those affiliated with that company, demons. BW49E23 paper, 4UHF545, and I already read that last bit. 8ACY391, 5CFZ319, 50310C1, 4SXH842. And monitoring in relevant position. While you have amplified plane activity, amplified train activity, those in relevant position are monitoring. That includes Starbucks at 706 West Holt. All right, that heavily documented demon-fested venue, and that company as well, engaging in terrorism in the state of California. That's why I've documented the same P.O.C. at different Starbucks. They are monitoring, and they're also monitoring me while my panties are down and the entity enters inside of that private space at a venue where the sun is captured at 7 p.m. and right now while I'm here at 8 a.m. License 7WAY724. And Tom's Burgers, they're monitoring as well while my panties are down and the entity enters that private space. Group stalking, the amplified audible activity is serving for what is ongoing facilitation. Demons at a distance in relevant position are monitoring. All right, 8V and K753. 5CGC271. And this is the venue that is so heavily documented. My documentation is showing the entity has literally engaged in conduct as though the sun is setting and it's setting into the Stater Brothers. What do I mean by that? The orange colored sunlight as though, at dusk, as though the sun is setting, literally moving a line of directed light through the doorway underneath the structure into the aisles. I've captured this. I took pictures of it. It's already documented. Stater Brothers is a facilitating venue, not in any way operating a legitimate business. And I've also documented Stater Brothers in different cities. Recall Fontana. Stater Brothers on Sierra Avenue, there is no point where the sun is over that Stater Brothers at all. It was there because I was present and I was subject to the pattern of conduct, which Stater Brothers in the state of California is participating in, it's a facilitating venue. And there's no point where the entity's keeping the fake sun now over the other family community library all day long, or over me outside of the vehicle, in the vehicle outside of 325 West G Street, that it's anywhere near that Stater Brothers in Fontana, which I documented already. That was the P.O.C. 8GNW736, 7WCY176, and this is why you document, because that remains part of the record. All right, and so what's going on with this natural environment? There's no point where the sun's ever over that Stater Brothers, ever. Based on what we're told, having one sun in the natural environment and the ongoing movement, not when it's remaining over one address over me all day long. And that's also why you document. 7PLN467, 8LJT209, 6ZUU563, 5FSZ972, 6KLU715. Top of the morning. How's it going?
Hi, how are you?
I'm excellent. Talking to anybody interesting on your phone? 8XRN182. Have a good one. That's safeguard monitoring, an operation of a communication device under the fake sun with the airport that's flying over. This is the same safeguard, by the way, that engaged in criminal summoning. And that one that I captured on video, he's going to federal prison. That still remains part of the record. Did not forget about that. He's witnessing I'm prosecuting him as I continuously document. 8VKS225. 8PLR057, and they are a violent sex offender monitoring me while my panties are down, having engaged in criminal summoning with the heavily documented demons that are the Ontario Police Department. Imagine that. That's who they summoned. That's why the people of the state go to federal prison, and that's also why you civilly prosecute those minions, those companies, including Safeguard. That's literally the stalker summoning the stalker. Safeguard summoning the police, who are the police, by the way, that are stalking me by helicopter last night. That's who they summoned. License L5A9BBA. That's Shamrock, who's monitoring. Want to make sure I read that license plate correctly. So anyway, 5UJ8592, 7J26962, 7SBZ755, 7EPZ229. You'll recall again, it's 8 o'clock. 8:06 a.m. while I'm capturing the fake sun over me while I'm standing at the entrance of Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt inside of Ontario Village Shopping Center. The entity is keeping the fake sun over me through the window of Tracy Banks' vehicle as she has not yet arrived. She routinely arrives a little bit after 8 o'clock. The car has not moved. Neither has the fake sun. It's certainly nowhere near being over the museum of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. The entity is, again, this is already documented, keeping that fake sun over me while I'm inside of that vehicle, which is speaking to the condition of those that are entering inside of a bathroom where that fake sun is over that venue, speaking to the condition and the predatory conduct that they're engaging in, and they're doing it on behalf of the state of California, where the Ontario International Airport is flying over, where Union Pacific is audible activity in that environment, where the people of the state are pacing all around monitoring. This is an unprecedented level of invasion of privacy, demons engaging in what is sexually violent monitoring, predatory positioning while they are parked all around inside of that parking lot, pacing all around. You're looking at demonic activity, all right? And this is, it's very informative with regard to what is the big picture as I've provided it to you. And then you're able to study it with regard to understanding demonic activity, how Satan operates and how the demon-possessed operate, and how they seek to outwardly appear as though this is normal society, and you're learning actually their secret. These are demons that know what's going on with the person that they're monitoring, and every movement that they make, everything that they are doing is serving that ongoing criminal purpose. And this is also the value of documentation, because I'm letting you know what I'm doing, and then you can look at and see what these demons are doing in a relevant position around, and you're understanding what is concerted conduct. It's a very sick system. 8SZY003. They're demons that act in concert with one another. All right, and this is demons is nothing other than a reference to what is Satan. Satan is not limited to what are the natural barriers that we as human beings, normal human beings, have. Like, you can't see what's going on through the wall. All right, I'm not saying demons can't, but demons know what you're doing. You're dealing with what are spirits that are on people. Those demonic spirits on them, they know what you're doing on the opposite side of the wall. They know when you're pulling your panties up and down. That's why they're stalking with audible activity. That's not an ongoing coincidence. That's the pattern, and I've shown that. And they're also doing so in a specific environment. It is where you're able to look at what is the big picture, how a demon-possessed people are placed together under surveillance. 7TRR001, 9BIA787, 18635L1, 9ETY128, 4SZU755, SOTOTKG, 8CYH187, 8DCX056. The Ontario Fire Department, you already know that. Those are demons. 1255773, 73417W2, 7X68199. It's very sad. They have, with regard to the corrupt entity, as I've shown you, there is a bankruptcy with regard to any nobility or any sort of honor that would ordinarily be due to firefighters and, police officers. These minions are pathetic. 5FER426, they are stalking. It's the most pathetic picture of a bunch of demons, and they're using a whole fire truck, stalking people, using fire departments. 8D14386. It really, really, really minimalizes those sort of positions, but I don't think you can't provide for that. This is a sick people. This is a corrupt entity. And it doesn't remove what is ordinarily, again, heroes, which would be firemen and police officers, who are not corrupt, who are not literally puppets of Satan. And just disgusting and despicable in every regard. It's not just that, it's not a compassionate stance that you're demon possessed. It's not like you're a victim. These minions, they serve Satan, and they do so with every intent to terrorize someone else. This demon possession is a condition. They don't even like themselves. You're talking about those who hate themselves. They hate their lives, but they don't outwardly conduct themselves like that. Police officers are walking around like they think they have some sort of authority, right? Wearing their badges or whatnot. But you're stalking somebody, and your secret is known. You don't even like your life. 68LC101. Because there's no way you'd be wearing a police badge. You're driving around in a police vehicle and you're stalking somebody. Understand that. That's putting it in perspective for you. 6F42244. And you're talking about a police department that is devoted to that. That's what they're devoted to. While they are keeping up appearances on the website, talking about the latest incidents that went on at so-and-so address at such and such time, and these events, 6YZX327. And guess what? Everything that they're publishing, first of all, is under the guise of what is authority under the law, a legitimate police department. And many of the things, as I've observed it, for example, the latest robbery at 7-Eleven was an act of criminal summoning. It was an act of criminal summoning. The 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine is a relevant position. And what they published on the website about a robbery was done by a third party. 8CHC264, 8WC and 981 was done by a third party. The police are corrupt. They're engaged in criminal summoning. And again, this is what I'm speaking to when you're observing these sort of things and you are ignorant about the pattern of conduct that an entity is engaging in. It really puts it in perspective, and these are small beings. These are very small beings. 8LTP455. And it's sad. It's sad and it's pathetic. But yeah, they're far from heroes. They're far from legitimate. It doesn't get any more pathetic than that. And you certainly don't look like any sort of macho man. You're no sort of tough. You're nothing. You're in a fire truck and you're stalking, homie. You think nobody knows that? No, you know everyone knows that. So you're just keeping up appearances? No, you're just still obsessively stalking because you're waiting until I drag you in federal court. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic. License plate C1491079. That is Patton State Hospital. Crossing path. Law enforcement. 78NR463. 45244 F2. 5NLC213, 8CLP053, 44780N1. And that's where the fire department belongs. That's where these demons stalking by helicopter belong. That's where that demon driving that Patton State vehicle for law enforcement for Patton Hospital, that's where they belong, in Patton Hospital. All right, group stalking under the fake sun, Ontario Police, who belongs in Patton Hospital. License 1627718, vehicle 1034 under the fake sun. Waving at me like I know him. I'm on the sidewalk. Why are you focused on me? 7KXJ467, waving hi. I just want to point that out. They are focused on me. Obviously they're group stalking, but so they are always focused on, hi, Erica. All right, if it's a minion that I've had a conversation with. And even if when I'm like, I don't even know you, so why are you waving hi to me? As though it makes your group stalking any less threatening. But like I said, I just want to point that out. That's the Ontario Police who are stalking by helicopter and then crossing path in vehicles. You're obsessively stalking, and they are listening in real time to what I'm pointing out about them. While they are crossing path. These are demons that are paying attention to every syllable that I utter, and they're also crossing path into the fake sun that's now advancing east, remaining directly over the same street over me while they are crossing path. Patton State Hospital, which is where the Ontario Police Department personnel belong. They're very highly unstable, demon-possessed minions, and that entire police department is illegitimate, including the fire department. 6UCV561, 6HSY167, 7ETF864 are of the same condition. These are demons that are stalking. 7KEX337, 9ADX121, 7RCJ146. All right, 7RCJ146 is engaged in surveillance, parking in the middle of the parking lot area of the Holt Boulevard car wash that is closed. They're engaging in what is openly stalking. This is surveillance on behalf of the Ontario Police. I want to be clear, that's federal prison right there. But what else are you pointing out? The fake sun is over me while this demon is group stalking on the grounds of the Ontario car wash, a facilitating venue who welcomes demons to freely park on their property, engage in state surveillance conduct on behalf of the police. In addition to that, the fake sun being over me, this is the same venue where I documented the fake sun is over me after 6 p.m. Remember, I was standing in front of Battle Lab, and I was reminding you about after 6 p.m. where the fake sun is over the Fontana Police Department. This is that same Holt Boulevard car wash across the street from the Battle Lab. That would not be the sun. I have fully documented this venue where the Ontario Police and Patton Hospital, where these demons belong, are crossing path. License plate 7R27803. But again, Patton Hospital, let me point something out to you. That's a facilitating venue in the state of California, and federal law needs to change. Patton Hospital is nothing other than where targeted individuals remain kidnapped. All right, so I want to point that out. Patton Hospital is not, I'm referencing a mental institution, which is where the demon-possessed belong, and federal prison, especially corrupt demons. For example, the Ontario Police Department, they're demonstrating what that they need to be in straitjackets and confined somewhere. But Patton Hospital itself is a state facilitating venue in San Bernardino, if I recollect correctly, and they're a facilitating venue. So I want to be clear on that. 74639U2. And the Ontario International Airport, advancing over in relevant position, not continuing towards Stater Brothers because I'm not anywhere near there. They're flying on the left side of my person, which would be the south side of my person, and making a U-turn, remaining in relevant position. License plate 5XUT821. And while the entity wants to cross paths with the Patton State Hospital, what they're going to find is third parties like Tracy Banks. She's going to be confined in a mental institution with 6B XK382. All right. The entity is the psychopath that is stalking me while you're crossing path with a vehicle referencing that mental institution. That demon operating that vehicle is in need of that sort of confinement, and that's the reality because they're stalking me. And they're doing so with the police, who, again, are in need of serious mental issues. And by the way, that prosecution of the Ontario Police Department and all those officers, their mind state is put at center focus in their prosecution, showing their stalking activity. 8ATD 454. You're going to analyze that mindset. License 8MVP 603, 7SYC 216, 4CRA 486, 0881 1E3, BW45H21 paper, 8JLH 885, I believe. CA25V37, that's paper, and the vehicle number on the back of that SUV is 285. It's got the number 285 on the back of that SUV. It's a white SUV with a paper plate on it. This is Laurel, yeah, and Hope Boulevard. At Laurel and Hope Boulevard is minions engaging in surveillance, group stalking, maintaining presence at the intersection. 7K90195, stalking with the police. That's gone to federal prison, okay? 8 UOP 974. What you're paying attention to, where 7K90195 is group stalking, engaging in surveillance, waiting for me to cross path, where 23428K3 is crossing path, walking to their vehicle that's parked in relevant position, where the demons are tracking my steps for purposes of maintaining presence or crossing path, standing outside of the doorway of SoCal Jewelry and Loan Pawn Shop with his communication device, engaged in surveillance. This is surveillance conduct, license 15488V2. They're doing so under the fake sun. Understand, this location of this fake sun under this jewelry store, recall all of my documentation where the entity is keeping the fake sun over this same location while I am standing at Euclid and Holt after coming from Upland, California, and the entity was engaging in the ongoing conduct as though the sun was setting. It's over this same jewelry store. Understand, I'm just standing on the opposite side of it. That's what the entity does. It keeps the fake sun in front of me as it's a general reference to what is the east side. And in the evening, it's at the same location while it is on the west side of my person as though the sun is setting. And it's at the same location. That's what you're paying attention to. This is hours later at 7 p.m. The sun would not be present. And how you're paying attention to that? Because you're looking at it's over the same building, which is that jewelry pawn shop. Where the Ontario Police Department, those demons whose mind state is going to be analyzed and assessed in federal court for the psychopaths that they are, group stalking, 3968072. And those demons, all of them are engaged in surveillance at this intersection, and they're stalking with the police. That's grounds of federal prison. Okay? That's P.O.C. And the Ontario Police are just pacing up and down the street. 7U38901 is engaging in the same thing on the opposite side of the street at the United States Postal Service, a state facilitating venue. All right, at 123 West Holt Boulevard, where the fake sun is present as I documented after 7 p.m. I captured video of this already. All right, that's not the sun that I'm capturing while I'm standing at this same address, 123 West Hope Boulevard, across the street, where demons are maintaining surveillance all around me. And the demon-possessed police department is crossing path in police vehicles. You're going to disband that infected police department. And it shows how small and pathetic they are. I am the center of their universe. That's why they put a fake sun over me, put a fake moon over me. That's why everything that they are doing is about me, surrounding me, following me, speaking to their inferiority, but even more so speaking to what is their entire corrupt entity. All right? License plate 4VMR899 7U38901. And while the entity is keeping this fake sun over Holt Boulevard, precisely over my head as I'm walking now east up the same street, at no point is it seen over 325 West G Street. It's not possibly seen from any vantage point on the street of Fern Avenue or G Street, where the sun would be seen through the window or the windshield of Tracy Banks' vehicle, as I have systematically documented. That is speaking to what our demons, including Night Swift Transportation Holdings LLC, who was crossing path with a commercial vehicle doing so. And they're also group stalking with the police. This is no anonymous criminal activity. You can reach into companies, and real life flesh and blood people will sit in federal prison for that sort of conduct. Omnitrans, license 1370398, vehicle 1327, overweight black female with her hair up in a bun, crossing path, operating that bus. 8WSL 985. And it is 8:21 a.m. where there is no sun anywhere near 325 West G Street or Ontario, California, or 630 North Fern, over that street, over their houses, such that light is aiming into the windows and molesting my person and seen clearly captured in images. 77619C1 is SoCal Gas. All right, this demon representing SoCal Gas, again, 77619C1, is in operation of his communication device. Appears to be a Caucasian or Latino male, bald with black glasses, and in operation of his communication device. He looks up as I start taking his pictures. The fake sun is over me at Holt Boulevard and Euclid Avenue, where he is group stalking with the police. That's grounds of federal prison. All right, license 4VV V612, 8HSV 702. This is the population that's molesting while I'm inside of a car, and they're just one demon after another, just having a good old flashing light tag team time. These are those demons. 8MKX940, 8VME154, 6JDP9. 09, I believe. 8HDB 258. 6U.Y.S 144. CLEARVU 5GPN 945. License plate 7UXM 249. Alrighty, 7VGV 880 1634 6B3 8WIG 823 5AFW 246 8FWT 623 8XIV 506 4XDB 218 8HPW 504 7WQT I can't really see the rest one 8YVY 829 City of Ontario, a demon driving a dumpster truck, group stalking with the municipality 8RYY 188 8XTU 927. And these are demons crossing path with directed light on the asphalt, as though sunlight is like ricocheting, I guess, off of their plastic and or steel, whatever color rims there are. Sunlight is not like lasers ricocheting and shooting out horizontally from your car. Those are demons crossing path with light. And they're also crossing path under the fake sun, which I have heavily documented this already. At the same exact Ontario Museum of History and Art, I'm capturing the fake sun at 5:45 in the morning, where the same demon-possessed Ontario Police Department is using a helicopter flying over me. The sun will not be present at the same venue later in the day. I've already documented this. Standing at the same property, the Ontario Museum, 150 East Holt, San Bernardino County venue. They're monitoring right now under the fake sun. That is documented 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening on the same street at the same address, which is an impossible occurrence. Already documented. This is P.O.C. Just want to remind you about what is already published, what already exists. This is a demon-possessed population, okay? Entirely pathetic, stalking using fire trucks and police cars and helicopters. There's nothing scary about that. It's entirely pathetic when you break it down into size. And you're going to prosecute, though, because what is scary is going to be that federal prosecution. 889S94, Nevada. 5NDP120, 7SMR236, 8AXZ229, 8XJG937, 8MTP063, 7CDH912, 8LSU. I can't really see the rest of that one. 5MTV258, 8LYD441, 8TT, 8TTZ941, 6YSE722, 7PQF168, 6MPH982, 7JMB337, 7RFD595, 49148J2. They're all under the fake sun that's over Holt Boulevard and nowhere near 325 West G Street. Okay, and neither will the sun be anywhere near 325 West G Street, where at 9:52 a.m. like it was yesterday, right outside of my window, which I clearly took a picture of, documenting that demon at 325 West G Street who was molesting with directed light the night before last while she was getting out of the vehicle with her underage son. All right, teaching him the ways of terrorizing and demonic methods and group stalking. And that's why you're also separating children from demons like that who pose a threat to the public and to the children that they remain in custody of. License plate 9CCF775. All right, there's not going to be any sun at 9:52 a.m. over her house, seen through any window of the car that's parked there, which was the case yesterday. All right, and group stalking is Metro 102. You got a demon with their hazard lights on, stalking with light activity, facilitating, monitoring, while all those demons' license plates that I read, and they're doing so with the police. This is federal prison, 7MBW 344, because that's impunity. License 8TIZ941. And Metro 102 heavily documented. I'm showing you after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the fake sun is remaining over this apartment building over my head as I walk out of its parking garage, which is an impossible occurrence. It's impossible that the sun would be over, and it's not just over. Remember, the pattern is it's over my head at the entrance of Walmart. It's over my head at the entrance of Walmart in Glendora and in Upland and in Ontario. The entity is engaging what is group stalking, keeping the fake sun over me at the entrance of Target, wherever it is that I'm at. The 8WFZ684 and 92172U2. These are demons that are pacing while this demon, demonstrating impunity, 7MBW344, creating light activity, facilitating light activity at Metro 102, are using their hazardous flashing light. 7XQT339. Motor 1 is monitoring. 3-Star Janitorial is monitoring. The San Bernardino County Public Health Clinics at 150 East Holt Boulevard is monitoring. All right, they're doing so while demons such as this white male, I'm gonna get this one. Using their vehicle as a means of light activity creation while demons are pacing all around under a fake sun. This is demonic. This is demonic to engage in that sort of conning, and it's a pattern in that specific environment, okay? This is captured at 8:28 a.m. Flashing light activity at the facilitating venue of Metro 102. Metro 102 captured with a fake sun in the afternoon. All right, heavily documented. This is P.O.C. License 7AFW 905. That's federal prison. That's federal prison. That's impunity. License 8SWS 298. You're going to punish that attitude of just openly stalking and monitoring somebody in concert and on behalf of the police? Well, since you're so unfazed, we'll see how phased you are when you sit in federal prison and you don't get out. 4CGL144. That's how you're going to deal with demons like that. License 7XQT339, 8PBP650. Using their vehicle, getting in and reversing is a method of stalking with light. 8RDW070. 7MXP852, E570SO, 30386F3. All right, this demon that you see in images walking her dog in operation for communication device, group stalking at Metro 102. And these are the demons that use where they live as a facilitating venue. That's why you're not in any way changing what's going to be the prosecution. An entire apartment complex is going to be hit with those federal charges. They're group stalking. 8TTH297, 7ZJN190, 8RIA909. P.O.C. You'll see the fake sun advancing up Lemon as I'm walking up Lemon. Directed light across the curb. 8ZUT139 is a demon. License 5NDZ723. 8TJL399. And I want to be clear, this is the system that McDonald's is engaging in while they're preparing food and drinks and poisoning my drink. Okay, that's a very serious threat to your life. Putting anything in your drink, let alone something creating an unnatural urge to use the restroom, to use the bathroom, and doing so while you're nothing other than a hostile aspect of the entity because I'm documenting it. This is what these demons do. I'm going to prosecute McDonald's for that. License plate. And part of the job, part of the purpose is to make sure the world knows that what McDonald's is engaging in. 1459924. 8JVL217, Ontario Town Square is monitoring. 4HMN874. And by the way, that license plate I just read, that's vehicle 4156, 1459924. That's City of Ontario, 90120A1. And it's currently 8:30 a.m. This is P.O.C. The fake sun is moving in the direction that I'm walking, having nothing to do with what is the path coming from the vehicle where I'm ordinarily sleeping inside, or for example, Motel 6. Pick one, anyone. The entity's fake sun is remaining over me where I am going. I go nowhere near B&G Plaza this morning. Pay attention to that. But you have the fake sun over that B&G Plaza. Not only yesterday at a later hour, but also days before that, as I have been routinely and as I have thoroughly documented, early hours in the morning, and also setting while I'm inside of that same Shiro's Liquor. This has nothing to do with what is the sun. All right, well, those demons are engaging in harassment at Shiro's Liquor. This is ongoing accumulation of what is evidence that has already served to prosecute, but there is no coincidence. And when I say that they're going to federal prison, when I say you're going to be deported, when I say you're catching those federal charges, you are 8JID449. All right, there is no space for any, no room for error. There's no margin of error. There is a consistent ability to document what is a pattern of conduct. There are no anomalies. There are no coincidences. In other words, there is no room for confusion. And that's what I'm doing with regard to establishing precedent and what shall be a very short prosecution. It's a slam dunk case. Not slam dunk with regard to the ability to establish the P.O.C. Yes, that takes time because you're prosecuting a malicious system by a demon-possessed entity that seeks to kidnap you and lie, and you're dealing with what are numbers, all right, in the same way that the entity is harassing by a bunch of different faces. And that's why I was breaking that down for you yesterday. When you're ignorant of the pattern of conduct, you are automatically going to, honestly, actually, I wouldn't automatically do that, but ordinarily, the average observer, the average thinker, well, actually, I don't think you're a thinker anyway when you do that. But the average person is going to blame the one who is the person who is encountering these conflicts or these issues with supposedly strangers. All right, when it's, and ordinarily, and this is how the saying goes, you're talking about, ordinarily you're going to assume that it's that person. It's not everybody else, it's that person. And I want to be clear, that's exactly the sort of mindset that the demon-possessed entity is exploiting. And it's not that person. Pay attention to the specific environment that they're in. This is the pattern of conduct that they're subject to. And these are demons, different faces, same third-party or state status, monitoring and harassing a targeted individual. And that's what you're paying attention to. In the same way that the demon-possessed entity, this illegitimate public entity, all right, this corrupt entity is exploiting the laws of this country, because you don't have any authority under the law as the state. You don't have any rights. You're not exercising your any individual liberties as a third party group stalking on behalf of the government. They're exploiting the laws. All right, and all I'm doing is revealing that to you. You don't have a First Amendment right. You're not present on any individual basis while you're group stalking at what is a facilitating venue. That's why the fake sun is there. That's why directed light is there. That's why the entity is stalking by helicopter and airplanes. You don't have any rights. So this is what the entity is relying on, though, that everybody is engaging in what is normal society. This is out of the imagination of the target individual. Defamation is the P.O.C. All right. In addition to what is obstruction of justice by kidnapping, waging a false allegation, anything to silence the target individual. All right. This is serving for what is a slam dunk case with regard to not the time that it takes to establish the P.O.C. because you're dealing with a corrupt government. Yes, that takes time. Showing you what is not a coincidence, showing you what is indeed the P.O.C., showing you what is indeed an unnatural environment. That's going to take time. And I put that time in. I understand that. But it's a slam dunk case with regard to what is that irrefutable value of evidence. You cannot in any way reconcile it. Once you establish the P.O.C., there's no getting out of it. It doesn't change. And that, what I have established precedent of, it's applicable to wherever you are in this country. Why? Because there's only one sun. Because I'm showing you what's directed light that has nothing to do with sunlight. It also has nothing to do with sunlight when that's not even the sun, as it's been defined for us and explained to us supposedly in our science books by NASA. Okay? This is speaking to a whole other situation. The reality check, okay? This is a slam dunk case in that regard, though. The pattern of conduct is fully established. Fully established. All right, there are no loose angles, no loose aspects of the P.O.C. And so I'm showing you what are psychopaths. At this juncture, again, it is my goal to show what are, and I have already, this is not my job. All I'm doing is pressing record and documenting, because the P.O.C. is established. I want you to witness demons in action. Because now you're seeing the mask has been removed. The government's not hiding behind the anonymity of the people. You know, the people are group stalking on behalf of the state. So you are looking at the state of California everywhere. The state's around you. The state's living around you. The state's working around you. The state is traveling all around you. And it's demonic. They're pacing all around. So you're understanding the big picture. All I do is press record, and I'll let Satan for itself show you who it is, because that's what you're dealing with. Satan that intended to perpetuate this crime against American citizens and get away with it. And not only that, get away with it, but blame the targeted individual. Okay? And doing so in the most unfathomable and harmful and just despicable ways, using your family, your friends, whoever it is that may be in your life. And this is something that you will know. You'll know if you've been targeted by someone, because you know them by their fruits, by their deeds. And by they, I mean demons, because demons are group stalking you. And those demons aren't limited to those who are blood related to you. To the contrary, those that are blood related to you, those are the most instrumental vessels. Okay, those are those third parties who Satan is using, and they are those are the most potent, if you will, weapons to seek destruction. Because this is what group stalking is about. They seek to destroy that person that is being targeted, and it's based on envy. It's based on a sense of inferiority, because they are in darkness. All right, Satan is inferior to you. That's why Satan is stalking you. Understand the big picture. All right, and with regard to, it's not just a pep talk. This is a serious criminal activity. These demons are monitoring. They're violating the law. Okay, and I'm going to use that demonic activity to prosecute you. You're going to find yourself in a mental institution. All right, you're talking about what is Patton Hospital, which is a facilitating venue now. All right, you're talking about what is corruption and addressing that corruption, and that Patton Hospital may be the very facility where the demons that are the Ontario Police Department remain confined. Okay, because that's what this is going toward. You're going to address public corruption at every level. All right, and those are a bunch of demons in a police department and fire departments and sheriff's departments. They have no business in those positions. And I have shown every which way in which they are abusing the law, abusing their position, seeking to obstruct justice, while their criminal conduct is put on Front Street. It is fully exposed. Okay, anyway, it is currently 8:37 a.m. The fake sun is over the Ovid Family Community Library on the side. It is not and not going to be anywhere near 325 West G Street, visible through any window while I'm at that venue. This is also where the Ontario Airport is stalking with planes. This is where demons are pacing all around. The Ontario International Airport is group stalking and facilitating group stalking at Ontario Town Square, Wells Fargo Bank, the Ontario City Hall, Laverne College of Law. They're monitoring the 280 North Lemon Apartments, where the Ontario International Airport is repeatedly flying over a bunch of old people who apparently don't mind planes and helicopters over their venue where they live. The entity is engaging in this conduct and that specific environment, and that's impunity. All right, and that impunity, again, as you document that, that's relevant to the ways in which you're going to prosecute that airport that is engaging in terrorism and doing so in a manner. And this is what Satan does when it's surrounded with evidence. It just continues to engage in it. And that's to the demise of the third parties with whom they're monitoring, while you're also doing so on behalf of the police. And while you are doing so at that facilitating venue, when you are getting it down to those people at that venue, they're going to be prosecuted for that. This is not anonymous criminal activity. And that's speaking to the threat that they pose. That's where mental institutions come into play. You remove those threats from the public. All right. It is 8:38 a.m. The entity is going to continue doing that, pacing by planes, pacing around on foot, keeping the fake sun at this address, 215 E.C. Street. This is P.O.C. on, again, Monday, July 25th, 2022. Alrighty, capturing what is the fake sun at 9:52 a.m. and what Satan is doing, because this is the reality of what's going on. This is demonic activity, and this has already been fully published before. All I'm doing is using the specific time that I documented yesterday, showing the point that is already established, that 325 West G Street is a demon engaging what is monitoring criminal summoning, harassment, and terrorism where she lives, which is a means of publishing her facilitating venue where she's present on behalf of the state, not exercising any First Amendment rights or individual liberties, engaged in state surveillance and terrorism. That's why the fake sun, literally the mark of Satan, is over her house, and that which is not possibly the sun, while she was engaging in demonic pacing with children at 9:52 in the morning. 9:52 a.m. where I remain at Ovid Family Community Library, where I've already documented this. Okay, so let's go through this. We're going to go through some deductive reasoning. If I'm capturing the fake sun at 8:46 in the morning at the same position where I'm on the side of the Ovid Family Community Library, and then I walk from the side to the front entrance, the entity is keeping its fake sun at the same address at the Ovid Family Community Library, where it remained, because I walked out again at after 1:30 in the afternoon, I believe 1:33 in the afternoon, and then I walked out again at the same Ovid Family Community Library, and the fake sun did not go anywhere. It remained present as I'm capturing it as I stand at that same entrance. Satan is engaging in what is covered. You can still see the fake sun. What Satan is doing is engaging in this subdued affect, where the fake sun is remaining in the same exact position, where the fake sun has been present and has constantly been present. Satan is short-sighted. Satan is unprepared for what is the proof of Satan's existence and Satan's criminal activity amongst the people, Satan's use of people for, again, the demon possessed. And so this is why you have what you are looking at, what's supposed to be the natural environment. No, it's speaking to what is a real-time effort to try to conceal what has already been shown as the fake sun that's remaining over an address, 215 E.C. Street, for the duration of the day. And by the way, while it's on the side of the Ovid Family Community Library, not just right now, which you can clearly see over my head, where the Ontario International Airport is stalking by planes. You know why they're stalking by planes? Because the fake sun is here. The criminal pattern of conduct is proof of the rest of the elements. You're not engaging in one where all the other ones are not present. The entity is engaging in an ongoing full circle pattern. The entity is covering up that fake sun while it knows, and it is anticipating. It doesn't know. It's anticipating that I'm going to again make another example showing what are demons that are group stalking while the entity kept the fake sun over 325 West G Street. I've already documented that though. All right. So what you're looking at is, again, a demonic effort. Demons are pacing inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. Demons are pacing outside of the Ovid Family Community Library. Demons are pacing above the Ovid Family Community Library. That's the Ontario International Airport that's flying over the 280 North Lemon Apartments adjacent to the library, where the fake sun is present, which you could still see it at 9:52 a.m. What is the entity doing? Why is it not in its full glaring essence? All right. This demonic environment with this fake sun that's present. I mean, 9:52 a.m., 7 o'clock, 7:35 on the opposite side of the parking lot. Yesterday at 4 p.m., that centipede of demons walking out of that doorway of that library, they're doing so under the fake sun. It's on the opposite side of the same address at 9:52 a.m. While Satan tries to cover it up with clouds, it does not change the fact that it is equally fake. You can make it black. It's a fake moon. a fake sun. With regard to what is, again, what am I referencing when I'm using this terminology? It's a reference to what is a lie about how this environment of ours operates. The sun is not stationary, contrary to what science and NASA tells about. The sun is not stationary. It would not be present at one address, which is, as I'm documenting, 215 East C Street, where the entity is stalking by sirens, stalking by helicopters, stalking by planes. And that's why the Ontario Police Department, while their group stalking with Patton Hospital, after you remedy the issue of public corruption, Patton Hospital can remain, and you're going to place those demons in such a facility where the Ontario Police Department, those demons belong, where they are psychopaths and highly unstable stalkers of suffering from that condition of demon possession, and doing so in an environment that they would like to conceal from the rest of the world. It's not concealed. They are flying under a fake sun right now, doing so, again, as I'm documenting, at the same exact location at 5:45 in the afternoon, as I've already documented, the Ovid Family Community Library, where the sun would not remain stationary, speaking to what is, again, the literal futility where Satan is trying to cover up what is an environment as I'm showing it to the rest of the world. But again, it's unsuccessful. Pay attention. You can see the fake sun. And not only that, use your common sense. I have already fully documented it. Keeping the fake sun on the side of the Ovid Family Community Library from 8:46 till walk-in at 10 a.m. 9:52 is within that time frame. The entity is keeping the fake sun. The entity is engaging in what is anticipating. It's futile, though. You're dealing with Satan. This is not the natural environment. This is demonic. And those demons, again, they're listening to me. Well, I'm glad that they drove by with Patton Hospital and that's Patton Hospital vehicle. Law enforcement for that state facilitating venue. That's showing, first of all, Patton Hospital is a facilitating venue. They're group stalking, and those are demons that need to be removed from that sort of venue. They are engaged in the P.O.C, the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, the police department, the sheriff's department. They engage in kidnapping inside of that venue. Demons that are the people of the state are occupying that venue, and they are also engaging in what are kidnapping targeted individuals in that venue. Criminal defamation is the guise under which, and so it's useful that the Patton in one of its vehicles cross path today, but contrary to what these demons are failing, you are shown to be a psychopath. You're an unstable stalker who belongs in Patton Hospital or a venue of that sort. Well, you are captured as a matter of evidence, contrary to the lies that you speak about a target individual trying to kidnap them every attempt that you get. But you're the stalker day and night, 12 o'clock, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. What are these demons doing? These unstable psychopaths and group stalking sex offenders? They're stalking me with helicopters. All right, and they're crossing path in a vehicle that's speaking to where they're going. They're going to sit in mental institutions. They're the ones that's trying to hide the reality that that's not the natural environment that's over my head, remaining over me while they're engaging in demonic pacing. That's why they're going to sit in mental institutions. Understand, that's the psychopath. The psychopath tries to cover up the demonic entity. The psychopath is seeking to obstruct justice. The psychopath seeks to avoid being identified, avoid being prosecuted, avoid being documented. This is demonic. Those are not clouds. That's Satan covering up its fake sun. Okay. And this is over what is the venue, which is art. You're talking about why is it also futile? Because I already documented this. All I'm doing is using another specific time, 9:52 a.m. Period. There is no sun over 325 West G Street. It has remained here upon my arrival this morning, and it's not going anywhere. It's remaining right here at 215 East C Street, as is already fully documented, which is the pattern. All right. That is speaking to the demon that was trying to exert authority over grass, public property, while she was monitoring and group stalking me, doing so with the state of California, with the Ontario police. And like I stated yesterday, and like that demon was demonstrating she's worthy of, and also last night, while that same demon possessed Ontario Police Department, those minions whom I've identified by name, they're going to federal prison and they're going to mental institutions such as Patton. After you are, again, addressing this public corruption issue, Patton right now is exercising fictitious authority. Let me be clear. They're a state facilitating venue. They engage in what is facilitating kidnapping by the entity that's targeting American citizens. Patton right now is illegitimate. They're exercising authority under the law that they do not have. They're acting with the corrupt court. They're acting with the corrupt police. They're acting with the corrupt sheriff's departments. But when you are dealing, this is what I'm exposing. But you're talking about those are the venues where those very police departments that are stalking, showing that's where they belong. You belong in Patton, honey. When you're stalking day and night in helicopters, you are showing to the world how unstable you are, especially these minions that are pacing around with multiple shadows, these demons that are pacing around and molesting with directed light. That's where they belong, in mental institutions.
All right. But let me be clear. This is what Satan is engaging in while I capture. Nonetheless, you could still see that fake sun. It's right there over my head in the same position that I'm capturing every other day. All I did was capture it at 9:52, showing you what is not the sun that's anywhere near 325 West G Street, where the entity kept that fake sun. And what else happened at 9:59 a.m. where FedEx is molesting with directed light while that fake sun is over me at 6112 Vine Avenue. There's no sun over 6112 Vine Avenue. There's only one sun, right? Okay, well, with regard to what's the natural environment, that's what we're told about, but you're talking about what is a demonic environment, and that's why you have what is on the side of the Open Family Community Library, where demons are group stalking in the path with communication devices. This is an Asian female walking at 280 North Lemon Apartments wearing a little sailor's hat with her communication device in hand. That's a demon. All right. And she's monitoring, engaging in what is impunity while she does so. This is an entity that's engaging in that pattern of conduct under a fake sun. And capturing that image for you. It's currently 10:02 a.m. Again, I'm on Vine Avenue at this time yesterday where FedEx is molesting at 9:59 a.m. At 10 a.m. I'm capturing still images. The fake sun is then over the 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine Avenue. And I proceed to walk around the neighborhood showing you what is the fake sun that remains on Vine Avenue as I walk up and down, which is that would have been south on Vine Avenue as I'm going to those addresses and taking pictures of that. That is in no way in conformity. It's no way coexisting. It's not occurring at the same time while it's remaining on the side of the Open Family Community Library. And Satan is engaging in what is the futile yet very revealing effort of trying to cover up its fake sun. Why? Because I'm exposing what is the reality of the environment that we live in to the rest of the world. Because I want to let you know right now at 10:03 a.m., that's not the natural environment. That's not the sun that's over your head. That's not the sun that we've been told about. Whatever state that you're in. We're 3 hours apart on the East Coast, 2 hours apart Central Time. Demons are over here pacing around me under a fake sun that's remaining on the side of a specific address. That specific address is 215 E.C. Street, where it's supposedly the only sun that exists with regard to Earth, planet Earth, per NASA, is remaining on the side of the specific address of 215 E.C. Street, the Ovid Family Community Library, where it's remaining for the duration of the day. Specifically over the elevator in all of Earth, it's remaining directly over the elevator above the Ovid Family Community Library building, the address 215 E.C. Street, and that is also, that's going to remain. Remember, I'm capturing that after 3:40 p.m. I'm capturing that. And there's only one sun per NASA. And that one sun is visible over my head while I'm standing inside of 215 E.C. Street as late as 3:40 p.m. And the entity is keeping direct light as I walk inside of that same address right now at 10 o'clock in the morning. Not the sun. There is no sun over the 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine Avenue. By the way, as an aside, that 636 North Vine Avenue, a facilitating venue, that's the same one that those demons, that corrupt police agency that's right now was stalking by helicopter under a fake sun, demons that are reporting on the website for the city of Ontario how they responded to a robbery at that facilitating venue of 7-Eleven, which is captured engaging in the P.O.C. I want to be clear, any staged robbery, it's conducted by a third party. It's in concert with those demons that are the Ontario Police Department. Understand how this system of public corruption works. Don't forget that I documented Tracy Banks waging a threat about what is harm that's going to happen to me if I go to 7-Eleven, who is monitoring me. Via Tracy Banks, who is captured in video, group stalking with the Ontario Police Department, flying over by helicopter. They are engaging in what is creating a narrative whereby this is supposedly something less than a threat. That is exactly what they're engaging in. Understand who's committing a robbery. It's a third party. They're engaging in as though they responded to some criminal act that they're not privy to, as though they're on different sides of the team. They're all under the fake sun and indirect light monitoring together. But on the outside, it's appearing as though there's some robbery at a facilitating venue, the demon-possessed police department, the demon-possessed people of the state. They're monitoring together. But that's what they're reporting, by the way, online, as though there's some legitimate police department. They are not. Okay, that's why they're stalking by helicopters under what's the only one sun on planet Earth, which is remaining on 215 E.C. Street right now, P.O.C. Alrighty, I want to document the entity as at 9:52 a.m. what I documented. This is following up on what I documented. I have my phone, the battery that died, so I want to make sure that I capture this. The entity, first of all, is covering up its fake sun at 9:52 a.m., which is what I was expounding upon. And then, as I'm speaking about the criminals that are the Ontario Police Department, again, Satan is triggered by that. So immediately, the Ontario Police Department fly over by helicopter, which is captured on video as well. Okay, so I'm going to include that on my podcast. As soon as my battery dies, the Ontario International Airport then flies over the Ontario Senior Housing Party over the 280 North Lemon Apartments where the fake sun remains, which I captured. So the entity is engaging in what is, it's like this fake sun remains there. And this is already established. So this is what I'm saying, which is, so
I mean, asinine. It's really futile. It's pathetic. I mean, but what is the concern behind trying to cover up that which is already revealed? It's already exposed what you're doing. It's been fully exposed. That the fact that the sun, the supposedly only sun that is that Earth has, right, is remaining, as my documentation shows, at this one address all day long. And that's not just 2022. This is for years. I've been documenting what the entity has been doing. And that's just based on what is the arrogance of Satan, thinking that no one's ever going to know, thinking that they were also going to silence me. And I just kept on documenting, and I'm showing you what is an impossible occurrence, what that which is irreconcilable in Satan's today at 9:52 a.m. And doing so again. I mean, what is that? It's revealing what's the reality of demonic activity, because at 9:52 a.m. the entity's fake sun is remaining, as I documented yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the year before this year, and the year before the previous year. The entity keeping a fake sun all day long at 215 E.C. Street. I have also gone to Fontana and documented and reminded you what the entity was doing at the Ovid Family Community Library. I have also gone to Upland, California, remained at the address of the Upland Public Library, and reminded you what the entity was doing at the Ovid Family Community Library. I have also gone to Chino, California, and remained and reminded you what the entity was doing at the Ovid Family Community Library. The entity is doing so while I remain inside of any hotel, reminding you about what the entity was doing at the Ovid Family Community Library. This is the entity that's doing so. I go to Los Angeles, and the entity is keeping the fake sun, but I'm reminding you about what the entity is doing at the Ovid Family Community Library. And what is going on at the Ovid Family Community Library, as I'm capturing, the entity is group stalking, flying over a senior citizen apartment complex while trying to cover up at 9:52 a.m., which is a reference to the fake sun that's captured in a still image through the window of the vehicle parked outside of third-party facilitating venue 325 West G Street in Ontario, California. Not only did I already intersect with Fern Avenue walking towards Stater Brothers, where the fake sun is advancing in an entirely opposite direction, moving nowhere in alignment with what would be over that house or through the window of that car as I was sleeping in it, but you're talking about advancing over me on that specific street of Hope Boulevard and over me at that Stater Brothers. There's a whole body of documentation showing what's going on with Stater Brothers. The entity's fake sun is there after 7 o'clock in the evening. All right, but yet the entity is keeping the fake sun over this venue all day long, and then over Rancho Cucamonga. And again, where I've gone to the Paul Bine Library, Victoria Garden, and reminding you what the entity is doing at the Ovid Family Community Library. This is the futility with which the entity is engaging while you're trying to cover up your fake sun with clouds. What am I referencing? This is not just an ongoing issue with weather. This is real-time demonic conduct, and Satan wants to conceal from the rest of the world what Satan is doing while I am exposing it. You're trying to expose what, you're trying to conceal. And trying to conceal how? By covering it up with clouds. Otherwise, you're talking about what is that fake sun glaring, shining in its essence, just like I captured yesterday. Anyway, you could still see it. 9:52 a.m., it's right over my head. You can see it right under this this little thin veil of clouds. It's in the same position. It is equally fake. There is no sun over the 7-Eleven as I captured. There's no sun over 612 North Vine where FedEx is molesting with directed light. There's no sun over the venues that as I continue walking on Vine Avenue, because that's what I'm doing 24 hours ago. I'm nowhere near the side of the Ovid Family Community Library, where the entity is stalking by helicopter and doing so as Satan is triggered, because those are minions. Those are demons, the Ontario Police Department. They're entirely infected, okay, with demon possession, which is speaking to corruption. All right, the demon possessed are corrupt. They're criminals, seek to engaging in what is concealed, covert criminal activity, especially as it refers to especially as it applies to law enforcement that are this part of this demon possessed population. They're corrupt. Right? And what Satan is triggered by is, as I'm outlining for you, what's absolutely pathetic. They're shown to be stalkers. I've exposed that to the world. Hundreds of videos of the Ontario Police Department stalking, showing how they are unstable. Entirely unstable. They do not take a break. They are not resting. They are stalking directly and vicariously, as I'm also documenting the people of the state. And what I captured is the fact that the entity is stalking as I'm coming from Tracy Banks's vehicle, walking to the museum last night. And while I'm then present at the Ovid Family Community Library, where the documentation has already shown, the entity is engaging in what is entirely unnatural. The one sun that supposedly exists per NASA, with regard to planet Earth, is remaining over this address at 215 East C Street as a matter of objective evidence, my documentation, which expands beyond 2022, that which is irreconcilable. While Satan is triggered about its criminal conduct, these demons that are stalking in a demonic environment, these demons posting on the City of Ontario website about how they responded to a robbery at a facilitating venue by a third party, acting in concert with those demons that, again, moments later fly over by helicopter, engage in the stalking conduct while I'm talking about the fact that they're lying online.
literally corroborating what I'm showing you how the system of public corruption works, because that's what that serves. Yeah, they're lying. Anybody claiming to respond to a robbery, it's called criminal summoning. They were monitoring me if indeed that actually occurred. But not only that, anybody claiming to be this entire jurisdiction, they're monitoring. They're not responding to some criminal act that they're ignorant of. The person engaging in supposedly a robbery is a third party. The third party that's supposedly being robbed is monitoring together. They are creating a narrative that's being placed on the internet website as though the Ontario police are engaging in some sort of act of relevant to their position of law. They're stalking and monitoring. And guess where 7-Eleven is? 7-Eleven is on Vine Avenue, where I'm capturing the fake Sun yesterday, where I'm nowhere near the site of the Ovid Family Community Library. While I'm speaking this truth about what are lies published on the City of Ontario website about the criminals that are the Ontario Police Department who are cooperating with the people of the state, publishing onto the internet about lies, how they're engaged in public corruption, and then calling it response to a robbery at a facilitating venue. And if this actually occurred, it's nothing but criminal summoning, where I'm in relevant position on the opposite side of Vine Avenue in the vehicle where molesting with directed light and stalking by helicopters are present. The police arriving where a third party is robbing a third party facilitating venue is serving for what is criminal summoning. That's the reality of what they're doing, while they're publishing it on the website as though they're responding to some robbery. It is also serving what is the narrative. Remember when I documented Tracy Banks verbalizing a threat that I'm going to suffer physical harm if I go to 7-Eleven and complete a purchase, and document those demons group stalking at 7-Eleven, where, by the way, 24 hours ago, the fake Sun is captured over that 7-Eleven, nowhere near 215 E.C. Street. Okay? I remain walking through that neighborhood. And I remain at that venue where the entity is keeping the fake Sun, and then I return to 325 West G Street, where this demon is monitoring with children in front of her address, capturing the fake Sun, and she's trying to exercise dominion over public property, the grass, and somehow trying to make a correlation to her car, which I'm not paying any attention to. I'm capturing the fake Sun over her because she's a demon and she's engaged in molestation with directed light at night with the people of the state and the Ontario Police Department, and she's in that specific environment during the day, which is what I captured 24 hours ago. Nowhere near 215 E.C. Street. I do not arrive here yesterday until after 11, 12 o'clock. Where the fake Sun was nowhere near the side of the Ovid Family Community Library. Whether Satan is trying to cover it up with clouds or not, you clearly see it. And you also see it in the video where Satan is triggered. Satan gets triggered as I speak the truth, okay? And they engage in what is exposing themselves, stalking again in a helicopter. That's exactly what they did. While I'm speaking the truth, every time that you see that, you need to understand it's corroborating what is the truth that I speak. Because that's why they're engaging in it, and that's the psychopath that are the demon-possessed. All right, and as I stated, Allie and Nikki are in relevant position inside of the Ovid Family Community Library, where the entity is flying over by helicopter. Those demons are looking at a copy machine while they have multiple shadows inside of the library. They are looking at a copy machine as though they're helping the demon-possessed third parties who are engaged in surveillance with them. The police department's flying over their library under the fake Sun. Okay, the Ontario City Hall, they're in a bunch of demons filling a state facilitating venue group stalking with the police. These are demons that are pacing back and forth. I took this picture of this demon. He's wearing black slacks and a white button-down shirt. He's pacing with the police. The City of Ontario is keeping a vehicle in perfect alignment with where I'm seated underneath the side of the Ovid Family Community Library. They're group stalking with the police. All right, the entity is group stalking inside of the Ovid Family Community Library under what is the fake Sun patrolling all around like you hear, under what is the fake Sun that's nowhere near 325 West G Street, Vine Avenue, as I am documenting right now at the same time license plates, taking pictures of the fake Sun over the people of the state over their houses, speaking to what are facilitating venues, no shelter from a federal prosecution whatsoever, and they are monitoring while I'm on Vine Avenue. The fake Sun's not over or near or beside or adjacent to the Ovid Family Community Library, but what I will point out to you, as while the fake Sun is here at 9:52 a.m. as I'm arriving during the 8 o'clock hour, as it remains right now at 10:26 a.m. where the Ontario Police Department, a bunch of demons are stalking in a helicopter again. All right, the entity is keeping a fake Sun. Let me be clear. At 4 p.m. yesterday, the fake Sun remains at the same location on the opposite side of the same building. That's how I'm capturing it over the parking lot. 4 p.m. It's currently 10:26 a.m. 4 p.m. The fake Sun remains at the same address over my head in the parking lot where Securitas is group stalking, where a centipede of demons are walking out that entrance door. This is everything that I was discussing before my battery died. The moment that my battery died on my other phone, the Ontario International Airport flies over the 280 North Limit Apartments, the senior citizen complex, and the entity which you are listening to is flying over by helicopter. This is the prosecution of a state facilitating venue. The Ontario City Hall, this is an absolutely illegitimate facilitating venue. They are engaged in in state surveillance. You have demons exiting out of that venue to participate in this demonic pacing, which is terrorism. This is exactly what Tracy Banks is doing while I'm sitting in her car. She has no legal right whatsoever to engage in that. She's group stalking, and group stalking while you're in your car, group stalking where it is that you live, group stalking where it is that you work. It is a federal crime. All right. And that's why the Ontario police are flying over under this fake sun while these demons, these sex offending psychopaths, these unstable stalkers are pacing all around under a fake sun. Again, the one sun, wherever you are on the East Coast, you're 3 hours ahead of us. It would be 12:27 where you're at right now. That's not the sun over your head. That's not the sun that you're looking at in the sky space above you. It's impossible. While it's remaining at this address where I am for the duration of the day. And the entity is doing it based on when I arrive at this venue, because wherever it is that I'm at, that's where the entity's keeping the fake sun. That's why when I was at Motel 6 last Sunday, the fake sun is nowhere near the side of the Ovid Family Community Library. It remained over my head, over that room on the second floor, directly over me until I checked out at 11 o'clock in the morning. And then it remains over the vehicle of Tracy Banks en route back to this area of city of the Ontario, of the Shiro's Liquor. Recall that. Nowhere near what is the side. But what is going on? The demons that are the Ontario Police Department, who publish lies about their cooperative criminal conduct with third parties, engaging in positioning themselves, publishing to the world on the internet, while they are absolutely outside of any legal grounds. They are exercising fictitious authority. They're engaging in state surveillance. They're practicing demonic terrorism while they are calling themselves the Ontario Police Department. And that police department is publishing on the internet how they're responding to a robbery by a third party at a third party facilitating venue, where they are responding, which is called criminal summoning. That's on the website today. Okay, I looked at it the other day, and while I'm speaking the truth about that, that's why those demons fly over by helicopter. And what is that evidence of? First of all, it's evidence of ongoing demonic conduct. It's the truth that I speak. Satan is triggered by that. While Satan is triggered by that and continuously engages in criminal activity with which it's going to be used against you, and these demons group stalking inside of the library, all right? It's speaking to what everybody else is doing. Those are demons inside of 280 North Lemon Apartments, inside of the Senior Center, inside of Metro 102, inside of Ontario Town Square Townhomes, inside of these vehicles who are pacing on C Street the C Street turn circle, inside of Wells Fargo. Those are demons. Those are demons sitting in their vehicles in the parking lot, pacing all around in traffic, all up and down Euclid Avenue. Those are demons inside of Dollar Express, inside of T-Mobile, inside of Ria Money Express, inside of the United States Postal Service, inside of the Solos Birriera restaurant, inside of what is the I believe it's Furniture Dreams. I'm just naming all the vehicles. They're all monitoring. It's a demon-possessed population. And that's why you have what is the entity that's stalking by planes and helicopters, where a fake sun remains over me. There's no sun. Those of you under Central Standard Time, you're 2 hours ahead of us. That would be 12:30 p.m. right now, where the entity supposedly, where we have one sun with regard to planet Earth. This is what NASA's telling us. But that one sun is remaining over this address all day long, where the state of California is engaging in what is surveillance. That is impossible that the sun, you would see any sun over you while it's remaining over me at this address at 215 East C Street, where demons are stalking with planes, commercial planes, and helicopters, while this fake sun remains for the duration of the day. And that is a matter of objective evidence, as I'm capturing it in the morning, and the Ontario Police Department is again providing evidence to the world as to why they will be disbanded and sitting in mental institutions such as Patton State Hospital and federal prison under what is a light source that is not possibly the sun, because yesterday at 4 p.m. at this same exact address on the opposite side of the same building over my head, while these demons that are working in relevant position, Nikki and Allie, are going to federal prison. They're demon-possessed group stalking minions who are acting with impunity while the Ontario Police Department flies over where they work under a fake sun and indirect light. And the fake sun remains until the end of the day. There is no sun over you in the portion of the region where you're under Central Standard Time. There's no sun over you. It's impossible. With regard to what's the natural environment, how science has told us how the environment works, it's impossible. Not only because it wouldn't be over my head and over you, wherever you are, but also because the entity, this fake sun doesn't go anywhere. It remains over me all day long. All day. That's how I have it at the same address at 4 p.m. yesterday over this parking lot. That's how I have it after 6 p.m. over this entrance while I'm standing looking at the parking garage. It's impossible that you would see the sun over you. That's what Satan wants to conceal while covering it up with clouds. That's what Satan is, but it's not covering it up. And you're talking about what is fully exposing even more while demons are stalking in a helicopter. That's the P.O.C. Reference the policy that I have outlined group stalking as. Federal group stalking and monitoring is occurring. The entity is stalking by planes and helicopters, police, fire, and ambulance. That's the state acting directly. The entity is group stalking by the people of the state, and they're all demons under what is an environment that you were never supposed to recognize exists around you. And guess what? The fact that it exists is that which is not in any way incapable of being captured for you to see with your eyes, which is what I have documented for the world to witness. And moreover, It's speaking to what you are subject to wherever you are at. Because based on how exclusive science says this natural environment operates, because there's only one sun, well, that means that the one sun is not over anywhere in Texas. It's not over anywhere in Northern California. It's not over anywhere in Florida. It's not over anywhere in New York or Mississippi or Louisiana or Minnesota. It's nowhere, but it's remaining right over here, over the staircase when I enter the Ovid Family Community Library, over that window above the staircase. That's where the only sun that exists relative to planet Earth is remaining, and remaining for the duration of the day. That's how you know what is absolutely impossible with regard to wherever you are at. That's how this documentation applies to whoever you are and wherever you are at. In addition to the fact that these idiots continuously engaged in stalking in these incredible manners, revealing what is, again, the big picture. I've shown you what's the pattern of conduct. Look at my policy that I advocate with regard to federal law, because this is what the states are doing. This is what the states are doing, and they're entirely corrupt. They don't have authority under the law. They're waiting for the day. Well, I'm exposing them now, but they're waiting for the day that they are prosecuted in court, because there are American citizens across this country who are subject to this, and all you need to do is open your eyes and pay attention, because what you're looking at is the prima facie case for federal group stalking and monitoring. That's civil and criminal prosecution of the state. You're talking about those who are subject to federal prison, and everything that you're subject to is occurring within that fact pattern while you're placed under surveillance. And entirely corrupt demons that are using helicopters, like the Ontario Police Department, who are referencing on the municipality's website while they're group stalking with third parties at third-party facilitating venues, and then calling it a crime scene, where those demons are monitoring together. And the reality of what they published on the website about 7-Eleven, where I'm capturing the fake sun over that venue yesterday, nowhere comparing with or occurring at the same time being over the side of the Ovid Family Community Library today, that facilitating venue where the entity is stalking by planes and helicopters and molesting with directed light, that parking lot of that 7-Eleven that's referencing is a third-party facilitating venue. There is nothing other than criminal conduct by both the people of the state and the police. What they want you to focus on is the flesh, and the flesh would have you believe that the police are responding to criminal conduct that they are ignorant of, committed by what are the strangers, just ordinary people. They're not. They're the people of the state. They're third parties. They're acting in conformity to the pattern of conduct. They're acting with a corrupt police agency, and they're monitoring American citizens together. And that's the substance, that's the significance of the pathetic lies that this is what I want you to think about. Look at this video that I captured last night, 3 of them. Stalking by helicopter the Ontario Police at outside at 325 West G Street. Stalking by helicopter at the Ontario Museum of Arts as I arrived there. Stalking by helicopter at the Ovid Family Community Library, where I'm at right now, 215 East C Street. Then go to the City of Ontario website and read what those demons put on the website about responding to a robbery at a third-party facilitating venue called 7-Eleven at the 600th block of Vine Avenue. That's what they call it. They're referencing 636 North Vine Avenue. They're lying. It's called criminal summoning. That's what that was. It's criminal activity. This is how public corruption works. And it's entirely pathetic. You know why I'm putting that out there like that? Why am I harping on that? Because this is they are entirely corrupt. Now you're looking at them stalking me day and night by helicopter, and what are they doing before the world? Putting it on the website as though they're engaging in justice. Any alleged robber is a demon-possessed third-party group stalker. They were monitoring me as they're posting that on their website as though some crime scene occurred. They're monitoring together, and it's pathetic. That's why I love them flying over by helicopter. I love it. All right, because guess who's going to go to federal prison? These demons are sitting inside of Ovid Family Community Library, because where I remain, the Ontario Police Department is obsessively concerned with the moments that I'm pulling my panties down in the bathroom. That's the truth that they're not going to post on the municipality's website, that they're violent sex offenders and highly unstable stalkers, which I have shown as a matter of evidence. That's why they're stalking in helicopters everywhere that I go. 3 videos capture where I went from place to place to place stalking by helicopter. This is Ontario Montclair School District. The same minion engaged in kidnapping and criminal summoning with the Ontario Police on June 16, 2022. He is present monitoring. License plate, and his images are clearly captured. License 1630715. That's Ontario Montclair School District. That's P.O.C. He's creating noise. And the demons of the Jehovah's Witnesses, they're over here monitoring. The Ontario Police are flying over by a helicopter. They're demons and they're monitoring. Okay? They are doing so. License U.S.C. monitoring. P.O.C. All right, so I want to be clear. This is what the entity is doing. That's what I want you to recall. Look at the Ontario, and this is relevant for the federal government. Those of who you are looking into this case, you're looking into the details that I'm speaking of. What I want you to do is, because I want you to become well versed with what are the lies of a corrupt agency. So I've already captured the evidence. The Ontario Police Department are entirely illegitimate. That's why you see me disrespect them. But what actually, I'm not disrespecting Satan. I'm giving Satan the respect that it deserves. Zero. All right, they are cowards. They're stalkers. They're criminals. They're sex offenders. They're psychopaths. So is U.S.C. You need to understand that same dark spirit is operating in the people of the state. All right, they are all engaging in what is group stalking you while they are monitoring and acting as though they have first of all, legal authority, and then the illusion of what is liberty rights to engage in. So this is the fallacy. This whole society, 8J. E.S. 245. They're operating under what is the exploitation of what are laws that exist. Demons don't have a right to remain in relevant position. They are the state of California. The state of California doesn't have a right. In other words, the government doesn't have a right to place you under surveillance, which is what the state of California is doing. That applies to the people of the state who are supposed to be the face of the state. So you're, in other words, not supposed to be aware that that's a group stalker around you. And if you were to allege it, and having no evidence of it, then you're supposedly some paranoid schizophrenic. Then you're kidnapped in facilitating venues like Patton Hospital, who are kidnapping on behalf of that state. And they lie in order to do it. I've documented every angle of this. All right, so that's what I want you to recall. Look at the ongoing evidence, not just today, where I captured 3 videos. That in and of itself is a prima facie case for the ordinary target individual. The police are stalking you. That's P.O.C. All right, but like I said, the entity is stalking, and then you're going to look at the website where they're publishing on, those demons are patting themselves on the back, and they are literally posting on the world site. This is what's so sick about them. You are literally delusional, Satan, putting on the website how you're responding to some robbery. Guess who's robbing? These demons who are molesting with directed light, these demons who are stalking under the fake sun, this is who the Ontario police are stating somebody committed a robbery. It's a third party. They're monitoring together. And the facts are such that this series of events that they're referencing on their website is nothing but P.O.C. They're an entirely illegitimate police department. They're a bunch of demons. In case you didn't know, Satan's a liar. Okay, and while they're stalking on one front, that's not what they're going to tell you about. They're not going to tell you about the fact that they're consumed with Erica Lorraine Spencer's panties being pulled down in a bathroom and stalking through demons such as U.S.C. who will walk into a bathroom on behalf of that police department, who's stalking by helicopter. They're representing all of the people of the state, a bunch of demons stalking in bathrooms. They're sex offenders, but they'll put on the website that they're engaging in some sort of duty. No, their duty does not include stalking and terrorism, and that's exactly what they're demonstrating while they're flying over my head at Ovid Family Community Library under the fake sun. All right, the pattern of conduct is underway. The fake sun is present here ahead of schedule. You know why? Because it's not the sun. And that's not the sun over you in Central California. That's not the sun over you in Eastern California. Excuse me, not California, in the eastern part of the country, nor in central part of this country where you're under Central Standard Time and other Eastern Standard Time. That's not the sun over you. It's remaining over this address at 215 E.C. Street, which is revealing, again, the demonic environment that you're surrounded by. Okay, it's revealing what is the environment that you need to open your eyes that you're surrounded by. All right, and you're understanding what is no longer a secret. The demon possessed are everywhere, and they're placing you under surveillance. You are the obsession that they don't want you to know how important you are. Okay, and if you get wind of how important you are, that's when the entity tries to kidnap you. That's when the entity wants to color you as a crazy person. You know why? Because you become a threat, because you're aware of what Satan is consumed with. Satan is a liar, just as much as these demons are a liar on the City of Ontario website, lying about some crime scene at a facilitating venue perpetrated by a third party. These demons are conspiring together, and guess what that is? It's called criminal summoning. Those demons were monitoring me. But nonetheless, you're talking about what's a whole illusion. There is no robbery. These demons are engaged in criminal conduct together. Okay? There's no quote-unquote robbery happening at a facilitating venue. They're monitoring together. All right, the police department is entirely illegitimate. That's why they're stalking under a fake sun, in directed light, stalking day and night by helicopter. That's how that goes. That's why I'm able to capture that. That's exactly why. Okay, and while Satan is triggered because I speak that truth, that's why they flew over me again by helicopter. So these minions are going to federal prison. I'm gonna read some more license plates. You have some more minions over here. These are demons preaching about Jehovah's Witnesses. They're under the fake sun, stalking with the Ontario police. You know them by their deeds. All right, not only are they demons, which is shown through the environment that they're in, you also are going to bear the fruits of that demon possession, which is criminal activity. That's why they're stalking with the Ontario Police Department. 8XPR949, 8TWG431, 8TLP472, 6FYL971, 7YNCO28, 7CAB554, 6MBR281, 5XOA134, 8ULK564. All right, so those are just some third parties. The entity's fake sun is moving around the edge of the building. As I walk from the side to the front portion, the fake sun is moving. These are demons calling themselves Jehovah's Witnesses. You know them by your deeds. Open your eyes. Anybody stating that there's some believer, that there's some pastor, there's some preacher, some believer, you'll see that. You'll pay attention to what's the fake sun over Satan's head, to what's the directed light sprawling all across the walls behind Satan's head while they're monitoring you. All right, you're no longer ignorant of that while they're engaging in criminal conduct with the police, the most despicable form, the worst type of evil. All right, so the entity is engaging in this conduct while directed light is moving across the curb. All right, and those third parties are monitoring. While the fake sun's moving around the building, remember I'm in the parking lot yesterday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon where the fake sun's literally over there where I'm just walking right now. But I'm speaking to what I've already captured in images, all right? It is currently 10:42 a.m. And yesterday I am nowhere near this library, all right? I'm remaining at Tracy Banks' vehicle. She then drives down Fern Avenue. She gets onto Hope Boulevard. I already walked on Hope Boulevard, went to Stater Brothers, remember that? I took a picture of the fake sun right over the windshield while I'm in her car. She drives the Shiro's Liquor inside of B&G Plaza. The fake sun is over Shiro's Liquor. That is not occurring at all whatsoever. I remain at Shiro's Liquor documenting, and then I walk up Plum. Pay attention as I walk down Lemon today. You see the fake sun that's not behind what is Town Avenue moving north up Plum. As I walk north up Plum, that fake sun is advanced over Metro 102 over my head as I'm walking up Lemon Avenue. Pay attention to that. The fake sun is moving in the direction that I'm moving, and it's advanced based on, because I'm not walking on Plum Avenue, the fake sun is east of my person over the property of Metro 102, as opposed to when I'm walking on Plum Avenue, the fake sun is east of my person above Ontario Town Square townhomes. Pay attention to those images. Where that third party, that demon was creating, using their hazard lights, the fake sun is over Metro 102. That's not where it's at when I'm walking up Plum Avenue coming from B&G Plaza. There's no sun over B&G Plaza. There's no sun over Shiro's Liquor. The entity is keeping that fake sun, though, yesterday at this time, where right now I'm at the library. Yesterday, it's remaining at the venue of the B&G Plaza. What demon is this? Oh, this is Yesenia. She's creating audible activity. She's pushing a cart. That's audible activity. Yesenia, let me be clear. This is another minion that's monitoring with U.S.C. They're doing so under the fake sun. This is what they're doing inside of the library all day long. They slam doors. They're pushing around loud carts. They're slamming things on bookcases. These are demons making noise while they have multiple shadows, and a fake sun remains over their address all day long. That's documentation of what is harassment by a demon-possessed entity. And they are facilitating criminal conduct with the police. And they're doing that. Yesenia, her and her limp, she could sit in federal prison, all right? Her limp and any mental deficiency that she has, it has nothing to do with what is demon possession. In the same way that being inebriated or being drunk on alcohol has nothing to do with demon possession. She's fully engaged in the P.O.C. She's creating noise while she's crossing paths. She's group stalking, which is demonic activity. U.S.C. is monitoring with her. All right, that's Yesenia, who is a group stalking while the entity is flying over the library by helicopter as well. It's currently 10:45 a.m. This is P.O.C., where the Ontario International Airport is going to keep flying planes all day long. Go on ahead, Minion, I'm good. And the entity is stalking by helicopter, as you see in video. Alrighty, you also have, again, what was Nikki, and you have what was Allie, group stalking in the computer business area while the entity flies over by helicopter. Is this Jennifer? Yeah, we've got Jennifer at the circulation desk. She's monitoring with the Ontario Police and the Ontario International Airport, patrolling by commercial airline planes. And you have a bunch of demons that are walking around engaging in surveillance all day long. This is an inferior population, a demon-possessed population, maintaining presence inside of a venue all day long, group stalking. And it's entirely pathetic. They engage in what is taking turns making noise, pacing back and forth with multiple shadows, and doing so while the entity keeps the fake sun all day long and keeps direct light over the staircase. Good morning, Allie and Nikki. Hi, can I get some disinfectant wipes? Yeah. And this is with the Ontario Police. Did you hear them flying over the copy room while you were standing in there? You didn't hear that helicopter up there? No. Yeah, it's happening a lot. Have a good day. That's P.O.C. It is again 10:46 a.m. These are psychopaths that are monitoring. Psychopaths are the demon-possessed. Oh, no, I didn't. That's the whole reason why they're in the copy room. They're maintaining obsessive presence. They're in directed light, which is already fully exposed. They have multiple shadows. It's abnormal light activity. That's why you're not listening to the lies that come out of the mouth of a demon. You're going to prosecute them through what is the irrefutable and irreconcilable environment, which is entirely unnatural, and it is facilitation of a criminal system. And the fact that the police are flying over your library, you can claim that you don't know whatever. It doesn't matter. You're going to document it. You're dealing with Satan, which is a liar. So you're just understanding the nature of that entity. Anyway, it's currently 10:46 a.m., and this is P.O.C. The entity is engaging in ongoing obsessive pacing all day.
This is what these psychopaths, this is what these demons do. And the entity's fake son is over the venue, contrary to what is being over Tracy Banks' vehicle and then remaining over the B&G Plaza. Remember, I don't arrive here until later yesterday. And again, when I'm in Rancho Cucamonga at the Paul Bine Library, I don't arrive here at all. But yet you have it right over my head, where the entity is also stalking by helicopter. Not coincidentally, it is the P.O.C. Alrighty? It's 10:47 a.m. I want to document Allie and Nikki, who are group stalking at the circulation desk. They're molesting while demons are walking through the little hallway right here while I'm sitting at computer number 14. Nikki and Allie are molesting with directed light. These are demons acting with these demons who are positioned at computers around, walking through the walkway, and their shadows are moving across my person. This is sexual violence that they're engaging in with these demons who are sitting in the library engaged in surveillance with them. Allie and Nikki are engaged in this sex offense at 11:05 a.m. You have what are a group of minions congregating in directed light at the circulation desk. You have Jana and the African American female, whose name I'm going to get right now. This is monitoring with minor children. I'm sorry, I haven't met you before. What's your name? Tashana. Hi, Tashana. I know you're a little bit busy. You got a crowd over here. Would you mind adding some more time to my computer, please?
There's green or pink.
Okay. Tashana Gibbs. Got it. Oh, who's Jana? Okay.
Okay. She'll definitely add more time.
Okay, no problem. That's Tashana Gibbs. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is monitoring. These are demons that are in relevant position and directed light. They have a whole bunch of kids, which is activity creation, and they're monitoring what I'm doing on the internet. This is demonic activity. The directed light is over the elevator. The fake sun's over the venue. The Ontario Police Department is monitoring through this activity creation and demons that are pacing back and forth. All right? This is P.O.C. I'm on computer number 14. Alrighty, I'm showing you images of what is 2:32 p.m. This demon while I'm standing at the hand dryer. And what's the hand dryer? The hand dryer equals audible activity in directed light. Fake sun over the venue. Demons pacing all around outside of the bathroom. While they also know when you're physically, they know exactly what you're doing in the bathroom. That's a sex offense in and of itself while you're subject to that. But you have, and it's also sick while they are all maintaining that ongoing knowledge, men, women. I don't really think those are men, just female and male genders. And then this demon walks in the bathroom, goes into the bathroom stall, then walks out. That's pacing in the bathroom. That's terrorism, and that's terrorism happening in the bathroom. Okay? The entity is doing so on behalf of the Ontario Police Department, who was captured on video yet again, flying over this venue. That's the Ontario Police Department stalking in the bathroom. Directed light, which is not sunlight, because the sun will not remain present over the same address at 215 E.C. Street. It is, again, the time, 2:32 p.m. Directed light remains, the shape of the window is on the side of the wall above the staircase where these demons are pacing in the bathroom. They also have a light show going on. All these demons are sitting around like they're focused on doing something on the computer, using the copy machines and asking, can I get help with the printer? They have a light show going on, flashing directed light. These are demons pacing up and down the stairs, walking all throughout the environment. They're maintaining activity. This is state surveillance that's underway inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. Which you also know this, because where the entity has helicopters flying over their venue, where the entity is keeping a fake sun, where the entity has directed light, where you have multiple shadows inside of your venue, you are in no way concealing any sort of criminal conduct. It's out in the open. I've published it on the internet. These sex offenders are stalking in the bathroom. This is P.O.C. at Ovid Family Community Library. Additional sex offenders also molesting, engaging in terrorism, stalking in the bathroom includes Alan, Jana. That's Greg, who's crossing path right now with multiple shadows. He's a demon. He's a sex offender. He's got shadows on both sides of his person while he's walking by me. He knows exactly where I'm at. He's engaging in specific crossing the path conduct. And hi, Bianca. I'm sorry, that's Brenda. And hi, Nikki, monitoring with minions that are at the circulation desk, having a conversation, group stalking in the venue. So I'm walking from the restroom where this entity, you'll see the images that I'm capturing. They're walking in the bathroom. They're just going inside. They could go inside and use the bathroom. Flush the toilet is audible activity. All they're doing is creating activity. They're stalking. All right, sex offenders stalk in the bathroom. That's what sex offenders do. It is currently 2:34 p.m. This is P.O.C. Hi, Carlos. How's it going? Carlos is crossing path, walking out of the administration building, office. He does so with, again, multiple shadows. These are demons that are tracking my steps. Carlos is a sex offender, stalking while the entity is entering inside of the bathroom, doing so on behalf of the Ontario Police Department, who's flying over the library by helicopter, where the entity is keeping directed light. The shape of the window on the staircase is just vacillating around, keeping on that same location absolutely impossible, ridiculous. I mean, there are clowns in here. They are demon-possessed clowns. It's a cartoon environment. Anyway, it's currently 2:35 p.m. This is P.O.C. Oh, and of course, the sex offender, Sharon, working with doing self-stalking and engaging in sexual violence on behalf of Securitas, in the name of Securitas, because Securitas, in addition to Sharon herself, are going to be prosecuted. It is 2:36 p.m. All right, it's 3:43 p.m. I'm just documenting the minions that you see in relevant position. They're all sitting in directed light. And all these pathetic little demons are sitting around engaging in surveillance, taking turns, making noise at every movement that I make, monitoring with communication devices. And these are the same sex offenders monitoring in the bathroom as well. This is the Ontario police that's surrounding you while the demons sit inside of a library all day long. These are freaks of nature. They're literally sitting around making noises as the most minor movement. And those are demons that do that. They also know what you're doing in the bathroom. That's the sex offender. Alrighty, this is the entity that's acting with the employees of the Ovid Family Community Library engaged in surveillance. It's 3:44 p.m. This is uploaded into the Google Drive. This is P.O.C. All right, you got demons acting as though they're suffering from Tourette's syndrome, beating on the desks. And then you have what are psychopaths that act stupid when you ask them, are you okay, as you're hitting objects in the desk for no apparent reason. Again, this is occurring in what's supposed to be the quiet area of the library. There's no such thing where demons are group stalking, and they're doing so in a specific environment. This is harassment by Ovid Family Community Library. I'm going to prosecute this entity. They're engaging in surveillance with these demons that are literally just sitting in the venue, engaging in surveillance. You got demons that are getting up out of their seats, sitting back down, sitting by the desk and waiting to sit back down. Those are demons that are pacing, right? And that's a psychopath. That would be what you see to my right. But they're all the same condition, stalking, taking turns, making noises, hitting on the desk like that, and then looking stupid when you ask them, are you okay? Right? It's not funny. It's actually terrorism. I'm documenting what are demons engaging in, what is criminal monitoring, and there are demons that are engaging in what is activity creation and directed light. All right? They're all sitting in what is directed light, multiple shadows, pacing around, paying attention to the targeted individual, and not what they are outwardly seemingly focused on, which is psychopath conduct. Okay? They're all sitting in here stalking. I just want to document because this is ongoing harassment by an entity. It's 4:41 p.m. and this is what the entity is doing on a ceaseless basis. But I want to document that Ovid Family Community Library. And so the employees that I'm naming, they're acting in concert with the demons that are just sitting in this venue, just sitting around group stalking all day long. All right, this is why I show you the video of the fake sun at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's present at 6 p.m. in the evening. These demons are sitting in here group stalking, sitting around, taking turns, making a bunch of noise. The significance of noise, again, is audible activity. All right, and you're not going to get a genuine response from a demon. This is somebody with a monitoring spirit. You're dealing with what is Satan. All right, these are psychopaths that are group stalking and monitoring, and it's very, very sick and unstable conduct to sit around stalking somebody all day long. But this is what the demon possessed do. This is Ovid Family Community Library at 215 East C Street. This is harassment and terrorism by an entity engaged in federal stalking. And it is 4:42 p.m. and that's P.O.C. An interaction? No, he's hitting on the furniture, which a lot of people in here are doing, and then they're sitting still acting like they're not doing it. But when you're sitting here, like when you push up the chair, like go ahead and do it if you don't mind pushing the chair. It's not going to shake the desk. Like it's not going to shake the partition.
Was he shaking the desk? Or was
Yeah, a lot. And then hitting the desk, and all I asked him was, are you okay? That's all I said. And then I went back to my phone.
Okay.
I think he was saying something, but you know how you were talking, I couldn't hear.
Right,
I didn't say anything else.
Okay. I just want to make sure everything's
Why?
okay. You're okay?
Yeah. It's supposed to be quiet over here, so yeah, it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of other areas for me to sit.
Okay.
That's all. But I mean, that's it though.
Okay.
That's all you're
All right.
asking?
That's
Did
what
he?
I'm asking.
Was there an issue with him or something? Why did he tell you?
He complained about something else, so I just wanted to hear what he said. And
That's funny. He complained while he was making
I'm
noise.
not even going to worry about it. So thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, Jenna. That's P.O.C. It is 4:57 p.m. This is a third party that's engaging in monitoring, and then let me be clear, they don't have to actually converse about anything. Somebody, in other words, stating, oh, he went and told you. They're all monitoring together, okay? And you have another third party replacing it. It's another demon, a different face, the same exact conduct. And Gianna is in relevant position monitoring as well. It's 4:57 p.m. All right, capturing these demons that are sitting around stalking with noise. very much focused on my every minor physical movement and activity on a communication device, are stalking in the bathroom. They literally follow from space to space, including in the private space, and those are demon-possessed psychopaths that are stalking in the bathroom, as is documented. That includes Alexander, who was monitoring while the entity enters inside of the private space, and these demons that are sitting around stalking with noise, as I've been documenting, are engaging in that sex offense, stalking in the bathroom, monitoring in the bathroom as well. And they're all doing so on behalf, in concert with the Ontario Police Department. It's 7:01 p.m.